Good evening, everybody, and welcome into Prepcast.com for another year of Panther Broadcasting powered by Prepcast. Once again, back again, my name is Tom Hartbeck. I'll be bringing you the play-by-play, and next to me for year number 2, Adam Lewis. And Adam, are you hot?
Oh, very hot. We got a hot one today here in Northern O'Fallon.
Oh, yes, we do. And in my opinion, I wish these games started at 8 o'clock. Welcome into the Vandalia Bus Lines pregame show. It is Zumwalt North taking on the Battle Spartans. This game is rivalry week for both schools, and really it's a pride game for Zumwalt North. North ended Battle season last year. It was a tight game, and Battle last season did not let the Panthers get off to a very good start, Adam.
No, last season when we went down to Columbia, we saw Battle come out of the gates hot, putting up over 63 points against the Panthers. And then over the course of the season, as we saw both teams would start to get better and better, the Panthers were able to come out in the playoffs.
And the Panthers last year, they had that quintessential high-powered offense, but what they don't have this year is 26 touchdowns. They didn't keep very much of them, and it is a whole new crop almost in both sides of the ball. And this leads us into the Athletic Republic keys to the game.
Yeah, and the keys for the game for the Panthers offensively, really it's just, wanting to establish a good run game early on in the season, and in this game specifically against a good team like the Spartans.
And coming back this year for Zumwalt North, they are led by Jalen Lee, who will be starting at wide receiver and defensive back. And he is in the Super 30. Zumwalt North comes in number 5 in the Post-Dispatch large school rankings. Battle unranked. So this year is a year of unknowns for the Panthers, but how can they get off to a nice start?
Well, I think the main thing for them is being able to control this Battle offense early on, something we didn't see them do last season. So really for them, with the injury of Gary Martin at the running back position, they're going to have to look to shut down the offensive creativity from Ricky Dunn and Justin Goolsby.
And Dunn and Goolsby did torch the Panthers in the first game of the season last year, and it was really kind of a bad trip out to Columbia when they went out to play Battle, because it just felt like you were sluggish. Last year you had Zumwalt North, who had a totally different training schedule in the summertime than Battle did. This year it is mano a mano. Everybody had the same.
Yeah, everybody with the COVID restrictions all being a little more similar for the entire state. You're going to see a lot of teams coming out week 1, and you might not see a lot of those big differences in scores like you did early on last season.
So in other positions on the field, as the Panthers come out clad in their green and white. In other positions on the field, we know Jalen Lee is going to be the leader of this team, but who else are you looking for a lot of production?
Well, I think Chris Reckel stepping into the quarterback position here is his senior year. We saw him play wide receiver last year, and he would occasionally get the rotate in with the quarterback spot. He's a real good athlete, and with a triple option offense, that's nothing better than you could have at the quarterback.
And also one big miss that both teams will have this year. Kylan Watson, so far, is the injury for North. He was a nice second-string man last year, but he has a season-ending injury. And then in terms of Battle, they lost a big piece.
Yep, with Gary Martin going down a couple weeks ago with a knee injury, a possibly season-ending knee injury. He was an all-state running back as a junior last year, poised to have a big senior season, and unfortunately just got taken away from him.
So the captains tonight for Zumwalt North is number 76, Andrew Hoppy, and the quarterback, Chris Reckel. Reckel will be, in my estimation, from what I've seen him play, a little bit closer to a Cairo Payne guy than Jack Newcomb was.
Yeah, very fast, very athletic, very shifty quarterback. You're going to see him pulling the ball a lot and getting out in open space.
And again, it is that spread option offense that is the trademark of Zumwalt North, which is what we'll see here tonight. But Battle, a much more different style of a team. They spread it out, and they like to run the ball, but also can throw it.
Yeah, they definitely like to spread their offense out a little more. You see them come out with a lot of triple wide receiver sets and a lot of the times just a single running back, similar to North. However, it's not really as much of an option offense. It's more if it's a run, it's a pure zone blocking run scheme with Ricky Dunn.
And this wide receiver core is pretty laden with some experience, I'm going to have to say. Peyton Hoker, he's bounced around a bit, but he has landed here at Zumwalt North, and he could see some time at quarterback. Also, you got Jeremiah Dickerson, Jalen Lee, obviously, Braden Miller, Zach McGee, and then we may see a little bit of Connor O'Neill at quarterback, but he has kind of settled into a safety and defensive back role.
Yeah, and Connor so far this summer has stepped up very well at that safety spot. He loves to fly up and lay some pretty big hits, so I can only expect that we'll see that tonight.
So Zumwalt North has won the toss and has elected to receive. And it looks like they will be heading right to left on your screen. Battle in all white going left to right. The Spartans of Battle taking on the Panthers of Zumwalt North. It is a new crop of players, and let's just say it, a high expectation for this season. 26 seniors walked across the stage last year, and they have some big shoes to fill. The current guys in green and white on the sideline right now. And as we go, this is year number 8 in which the Panthers are trying to go win their district, get to the state semis, and possibly get back to the state title game. I mean, honestly, when I think about it, you're starting to say we're the bridesmaid and never the bride. But what are some of the things that Coach Bacon might be telling his team that they need to do this year, especially with so much new blood?
Well, I think the biggest thing for really just anybody in the North program, year in and year out, is just you need to buy into the program that they have. It's proven over, like you said, the last 7 years that it can be a very successful program, both offensively and defensively, but the biggest thing is just getting the kids to really believe in it and show up to work every day.
So going back deep for the Panthers is Jalen Lee, Jalen Lee, Braden Miller, and on the far side, Miles Weddington. To kick for Battle, well, we do not have a 3 on our roster. It is 7 o'clock local time, and we are underway. This one is a low squib kick. It bounces and is picked up by Lee. Lee has a hole. Lee's to the 40. Lee's to the 50. Gets around, drags, and gets down to opposition territory at the 40-yard line.
And that's the exact start you're looking for. If you're the Panthers, you talk about wanting to spark this offense, and there's no better way than to get a real good kick return into the opposing territory.
Jalen Lee hit into the Post-Dispatch Super 30. The all-out leader of this team so far, but Chris Raquel can certainly slot into that as well. We also may see DJ Jones as he'll be the starting running back, wearing number 2. Raquel is beside him. And as we move out, it's Hoker to the near side, then Miller. Lee is the slot man to the far side of the field. As they come out in the shotgun, man in motion's Miller. It's Raquel. Now left off to Miller. He gets 1 or 2 before being dragged down up the inside.
And for those of you who are new to watching the Fort Zumwalt North Panthers offense, expect to see a lot of those slot receivers going in motion just like Miller did on that one.
And that is a trademark play for the Panthers. You'll see that quite often as they move trips to the far side. Miller is the near side slot man. Raquel keeps it himself, hits the hole, and it'll be 3rd and short.
And a good job by number 18, Donovan Hicks, for Battle there, the outside linebacker, doing a good job stepping up and making a tackle there, preventing Reckel from getting a first down on that one.
So, here early, 3rd down and 3. Ball on the 33-yard line, 10:50 to go. Raquel has DJ Jones beside him. Hoker to the near side. He's the lone wide out. and then a trips to the far side, which is Miller, Lee, and Zach McGee to the far side. And that'll be a false start. .10:34 to play here in the first quarter. False start on the offense, so a 5-yard penalty.
That takes that 3rd and short situation and backs them up to a 3rd and 8. You wonder if it puts the Panthers into a passing situation here.
Well, they've been known to kind of lull you to sleep and then throw a big play to the pylon.
And Chris Reckel, while his athletic ability is more highlighted than his throwing ability, he does have a very good arm. He was showcasing his arm talent very well this summer.
Hoker, Miller, Lee, and McGee are the wide receivers from bottom to top. Man in motion is Lee. Lee gets the handoff to the 40. End around to the 30. It's going to be close. I do not believe he got it.
Looks like they're going to mark him about a yard or two short here.
So now you're in that no man's land of, do you punt or do you kick or do you just go for it? And looks like they are going to be given a 4th and 2. And looks like Coach Bacon will go for this one. No Davis Herbst yet. Braden Miller on the near side sideline. And then Jalen Lee to the far side.
Panthers also sporting a 2 tight end set here.
Reckel keeps it himself, has a hole, got through. That'll be a first down, and that'll move the chains.
And after talking to some of the Zumwalt North coaches over the summer, they said expect the Panthers to come out in a lot more tight end sets this year than what they've shown in the past, especially that double tight end set like they just showed right there on that 4th and short.
Braden Miller checks out of the game. Weddington checks in. Miller, a much taller wide receiver than Weddington is. And it's Hoker, Weddington, Lee, and McGee. DJ Jones, the running back. Back to pass is Reckel. He's pressured, gets out of the pocket, keeps it himself, and actually gets a nice little gain.
Reckel doing a good job back in the pocket there, realizing there was good coverage downfield and also feeling that pressure and able to step up and gain a couple yards on the play instead of taking that sack.
We saw Chris play a little bit of quarterback last year, Adam, but we didn't really see him throw a whole lot. And when the Panthers do throw, a lot of times it's pretty electric when they can pull that trigger.
Yeah, and we've seen Chris Reckel make some pretty good deep ball passes to players like Zach McGee and Jalen Lee so far throughout their summer workouts. Defense
shows blitz, and down goes Chris Raquel. He is sacked on the play by number 52, Aiden Jones.
And Aiden Jones making a great read right there, getting into the backfield, really suffocating Chris Reckel and DJ Jones, and just being able to make a big play in the backfield, get him for a loss.
Good blitzing defense by Battle. Here now a 3rd and long from the 30-yard line. Panthers keep the same personnel out there. Hoker, then Weddington, then Lee, then McGee. Standard line, shotgun spread. Man in motion was Lee, but then some miscommunication. Ball comes out. I believe Lee fell on it, but it will be 4th and long.
And those mistakes right there is just something that the Panthers cannot have early on in this season if they want to be successful. Little plays like that, if it just only happens a couple times a game, could end up really costing you.
And you're on the 35 here. You're still in that no man's land of do you punt or do you kick?
But now the situation makes it a little more difficult because instead of it being a 4th and 2, it's a 4th and 15.
Officially 4th and 18 with 8:05 to play here in the first quarter. Zumwalt North going to go for this one. They will not coffin kick it. Raquel rolling, but a whistle comes in. And a flag on the play. Came in from the far side of the field. And it's the same call. False start on the offense.
False starts was something we saw early on with the Panthers last season, and so far it seems like it's continuing to become a bad cycle that they're falling into.
So now you are, in my opinion, you are in punt territory. But they will stay in the offensive formation. 4th down and 23. And now Chris Raquel will go back to punt. He will punt it. It's away. And gets a good bounce, but into the end zone. But there is a flag on the play in the backfield. We'll wait and see what the white hat says. 7:40 to play. And it looks like we may have a running into the kicker. White hat walking over to Coach Joe Bacon right now, wanting a little bit of an explanation. Doesn't look like possession has changed yet.
Yeah, at first both teams kind of went to their sidelines as you were expecting a possession change, but the Panthers offense started jogging back out onto the field.
Now Reckel has left. Running into the kicker. Penalty will be declined. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Battle from their own 20. $7:40 to play here in the first quarter. 0-0 our score. 1st and 10, ball on the 20-yard line for Battle as they come out. Led by Ricky Dunn. Dunn, an electric running back. And they also have a stalwart quarterback in Justin Goolsby. Goolsby can also run it as well. He wears number 14. Battle comes out with what looks like 3 wide receivers and 1 slot man pinched in tight to the line. Dunn calling signals. 3 wide outs for the Spartans. And it's a bad snap over his head. Now they run. Who got the ball? It looks like Ricky Dunn picked it up, but he will be put back at the 3-yard line.
Wow, so far it seems like the mistakes are coming up for both ends of the field here.
Well, it's hot. You can say that again. Perspiration aplenty over on that field.
Goolsby just not able to get control of that high snap. Ball goes back. DJ Jones putting on some good pressure. However, the Spartans are able to recover.
Is that a safety? No. Close to it, though.
Wrapped up by P.J. Henderson from the outside linebacker spot there. And I believe that was Spencer Steinmeier as well.
Steinmeier experienced.
One of the few players with experience on this young Panthers defense.
Well, that's true, too. 3rd and 28 for Battle as they are in the shadow of their own goalpost. Back to pass. Looking, floating, and nobody was there, so that's going to be 4th down. And job done by the Panther defense.
And you wonder how, with Goolsby just kind of sitting back in his end zone like that, how that isn't an intentional grounding call against the Spartans.
Yeah, it's kind of tough, but when you're pressured like that, it's hard to call it. There was no pocket to speak of on that play. And back deep for the Panthers looks to be Braden Miller. He stands at the 40, so the Panthers will have good field position here. Battle, I'm sure, will try and pull something as they have not broke their huddle yet. Jalen Lee getting a little talkative to the Battle sideline. He got a little close to the huddle, now being led away by the referee as the beach balls start bouncing in the North student section. 6 minutes, 24 seconds to play here in the first quarter. 4th down and 28. And the ball will be back all the way to the 1. Punter will have to stand with his heels to the white chalk. Into punt looks like Donovan Hicks. Miller is back as is Connor O'Neill. The punt is away. It's a good one, end over end. Caught, and now that is a fumble and recovered by Battle. I'm not sure why he touched it.
Yeah, with a young player, Miller, you see that's kind of maybe what you would call a rookie mistake. In that situation, you would either want to just get away from it or at least try and call a fair catch.
And Battle does recover, and it looks like Braden Miller maybe shook up here a bit. And he's hauled to his feet. Took a minute to get up. But on that play, you were going to have good field position, inside the 50, no matter what. More than likely, 90%. I'm sure Coach Bacon will have a heart-to-heart with Braden Miller.
Oh, I'm sure he's not going to be too happy about that one. See, just critical mistakes like that is what can really cause you a game, especially early on in the season.
That's basically a 40-yard pass when you think about it. So now 1st and 10 Battle from the 34-yard line. And Coach Bacon taking a minute to talk to his players. Again, we will have the water breaks here in the first few games, as the sun is yet to go down. And if you're just joining us, welcome in, everybody. My name's Tom Hartbeck. I'm alongside Adam Lewis. Gavin Anderson is our producer today. And Parker Kylan running camera. 1st and 10 from the 34 for the Spartans. They come out in the shotgun once again. They'll throw a tight end to the mix as well. Trey Richardson, the slot man to the near side. And the wideout is Kylan Horn. Now the white hat is happy, and we all come set. Goolsby, here comes the blitz. He's back to pass. Heaves one deep. That one's a hospital pass. It is almost picked off, but nice coverage that time by Jeremiah Dickerson.
Dickerson doing a real good job staying with his man down the sideline there. In a situation where his body got turned around in a weird way, he's still able to get the pass break up.
2nd down and 10 from the 34, 6:11 to play. Defensively so far, Adam, I like what I see.
Defensively, the Panthers have looked real solid so far. If it wasn't for that special teams mistake, we'd be looking at a quick 3 and out.
They show blitz once more. Hand off to Ricky Dunn. He got through. He's to the 50. He's to the 45 and is pushed out by Dickerson. And now a flag coming in. Are they going to say Dickerson hit him? I can't. If they do, I'm going to be shocked.
Yeah, I feel like this flag was thrown a little bit before.
And they wave it off. Okay.
There we see Ricky Dunn helping carry the team with his athleticism there, able to break a pretty decent run for the Spartans and move the chains.
Well, a very good running back, and he ran circles around North in the first game last year. And it was not pretty.
And Ricky Dunn is still only a junior, so he's got a whole nother year after this season.
103 points were scored in that game, 60-43 the final. Battle won game 1 last year. Another handoff to Dunn around the outside. Hits off a man, stays on his feet to the 45, gets a first down, still in bounds across the 30 before he's finally dragged down by, I believe, Jalen Lee.
Ricky Dunn doing a real good job of showing how it's very hard for you to bring him down. I think for the Panthers to have a good time trying to stop him, they're going to have to reserve back to what we saw a lot last year, and that was more of that gang tackling style of defense.
And now that we don't see him anymore, him and Chris Fattrell were very similar running backs.
Very similar. They were a little bit bigger running backs, maybe built more like power running backs, but they were still just very good athletically. All around, they could make some phenomenal plays.
Goolsby brings his troops to the line, almost in the red zone. He brings out with 3 wide receivers, 2 to the far side. Low snap. Goolsby throws one quick, and it was over the head of Connor O'Neill. He just didn't see it fly over his helmet. And that'll be an incomplete pass, 2nd down and 10 from the 27.
The Panthers, we see a couple substitutions. We see Alec Goki sub in at defensive end for Andrew Hoppy. And Chris Reichel is also thrown out there at the safety spot.
I think we saw Chris play a little bit of defense last year. Goolsby, handoff to Dunn. Dunn bounces off a man, gets through, and he's down to the 20. Just short of the first down.
DJ Jones being able to step up and make the tackle on that one.
And that was actually Lavondre Smallwood on the carry, as Dunn came out for a play, and then now he's back in. 3rd down and 2, ball on the 19-yard line, just inside the red zone. 4:50 to play here in the first quarter. Battle on the march here after the special teams mistake by the Panthers. Goolsby, handoff to Dunn, hits the hole, breaks through the Panther line, and he's dragged down just before the 10.
Battle so far, after those early struggles, that first 3 drives or 3-play drive we saw earlier, it seems like they're starting to click with this run game.
Well, they are a smash mouth kind of team, and they do have the height and weight advantage on that big offensive front. We were talking before the game, size is really not a factor for the Panthers this year, Adam.
And size almost has never been a factor for the Panthers, especially going up against some of these teams like Battle, who consistently always just have much bigger teams all around.
Here's Dunn. He runs into a wall and then is driven down by P.J. Henderson. And again, Smallwood and Dunn swapping out. Interestingly enough, though, Misha has mandated that all teams by 23 have the same numbers. So us jobs as broadcasters might get a little easier. 2nd down and 8 from the 8-yard line. 3:45 to play here in the first quarter. Battle and Zumwalt North. Currently we are scoreless, but Goolsby brings his troops to the line with 2 wide receivers out to the far side, 1 to the near. The receiver to the near side's Fernandez. Goolsby keeps it himself, and then he is sacked on the play. That was Shane Pruitt.
And Shane Pruitt, the sophomore linebacker, stepping up for the Panthers in his first varsity action. Able to track down a very athletic Goolsby right there and make a big stop for the Panthers.
Well, every defensive back on this team kind of has Parker Monning's shoes to fill. State all-time single-season sack leader. This brings up a 3rd and 8 from the 8-yard line. They officially say he got back to the line of scrimmage. Panthers show blitz again, and then a flag on the play.
Looks like this one's going to be a false start.
False start on the offense. That'll help out Coach Bacon and company. And this first quarter has flown by. 2:53 left on the clock. 3rd down, and now officially 13. Clock starts to run. 3 wide outs and a tight end. Goolsby, hand off to Dunn. He is stuffed. And that'll bring up 4th down. The Panthers have held, and I think they'll take that.
Right there we saw Battle try to run with a little trap play using their tight end number 15, Livingston Cody, to kind of motion down the line, go in for a kind of a blindside block on one of the linemen. However, the Panthers defense was just able to collapse on it.
Andon Aarons checking in for Battle. And looks like they will go for it from the 14. 4th down, 2 minutes to play. Goolsby rolling to the far side. He's pressured, throws, caught, and stopped at the 5. The Panthers will hold, and they keep the Spartans off the board with 1:51 to play.
There we see Connor O'Neill coming out of his break, coming downfield, laying a big hit to turn the ball in favor of the Panthers.
Well, from the 4 is where they'll mark it, so the Panthers will have to go 90-plus yards to pay dirt. But you'll take that.
And early on in this game, I feel like this drive for the Panthers is really going to be a defining one. We saw the struggles early on, but now they've got to drive almost all the way down the field, and we'll see if they're able to accomplish that.
Connor O'Neill coming in on offense. Chris Reckel as well. And looks like it is Raquel, and now a flag on the play.
They're going to give a delay of game on the Panthers here.
Timeout called by Zumwalt North.
No flag on the play. We've been timeout by Fort Zumwalt North. It's their first charge timeout of the half.
And that's their first charge timeout of the half. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back on prepcast.com.
Bus Lines has been serving the St. Louis metropolitan area since 1932, and they take pride in their well-maintained fleet of clean, comfortable, European-style motor coaches and vans. Whether you're interested in a tour of the beautiful and historic St. Louis area or a charter trip to the lower 48 continental United States or parts of Canada, it's Vandalia Bus Lines, the largest fleet in the St. Louis area. Call them at 800-542-4287.
Welcome back, everybody, to Panther Broadcasting, powered by Prepcast. Once again, my name's Tom Hartbeck alongside Adam Lewis. Gavin Anderson is our stalwart producer today. It is 1st and 10 from the 4 for Zumwalt North with 1:51 to play. They held on a long battle drive, 4 yards short. DJ Jones gets the handoff and moves up to the 9.
Jones with a shifty little run right up the middle, able to pick up 5 yards for the Panthers.
And now as we see the Panthers kind of start their offense, it doesn't look too much different from last year, but, I mean, how much different do you think the talent level is if you had to give it at a quick glance here, Adam?
Oh, well, I think in terms of the athletes that they have on the field, the ability to make plays, I would argue they have more talent than last year. I just feel like they lack a little bit of the size and just overall experience as they've had with some of their previous teams.
So now we'll go back to the 4-yard line after the penalty, and it'll be 2nd down and 10. Hoker, then Weddington, then Miller. McGee out to the far side. Reckel, back to pass, rolling in his own end zone, looking, floats one long, caught on the far side. Braden Miller breaking away to the 30. He's gone. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Panthers. Almost spoke too soon, but I willed them over the line. How about that?
And we talked about it earlier on in this quarter. The Panthers, when they come out throwing the football, they usually like to take some shots deep, and we can always see that turning into points for them.
And that really wasn't a deep shot. That was, let's just float one and see what happens. And Braden Miller makes a great play, gets one on the near side, and takes it to the house. Somebody break out the record book on that.
And a great play by Miles Weddington, never giving up on that play and running down to give Miller a lead blocker.
So Davis Herbst, the senior kicker, to come in. Snap back. Bad snap. Picked back up by O'Neill. He is then wrecked. And that'll be 6 points.
That makes the score. The Fort Zumwalt North Panthers 6, the Battle Spartans 0.
So 6-0. Adam, I guess we'll take it. 36.9 seconds to go here in the first quarter. The Panthers have the lead, but they will have to really step it up on defense if they want to keep this lead, because if you have drives that get stalled at the 4, turned into a special teams there that move it up to the 40, and then you have a very good running back in Ricky Dunn who can take you all the way to the house. You can't win a game having drives like that.
No, the Panthers are going to have to find a way to shut down that running offense with Ricky Dunn in the backfield. He's just such a powerful runner. They can't afford to have these missed tackles that we've seen so far early on.
So we'll break the huddle now. Out there for the Panthers is Hoker, Mark Futrell, also Carter Madare, Jeremiah Dickerson to the far side, Monty Brew is on the near side, as well as Zach McGee, P.J. Henderson, and Andy Guthrie on special teams. I think I got everybody. Shane Pruitt, there we go. Trying to get as many names in as I can this first game, so bear with me, everybody. Herbst to kick. Here's the run-up. Boom, and it's deep. And out of bounds at the 4. Almost got it into the end zone.
And that was a slow roller down into the corner of the end zone.
What is your view, Adam, on kickoffs in football?
What do you mean specifically?
Well, I mean, a lot of people think the NFL is going to eventually do away with it.
Oh, I don't think that should be done. I feel like special teams are just as important in the game of football as offense and defense are.
Yeah, but you don't see the big, huge collision plays anymore like you used to, man.
Yeah, you also don't see as many of the big runs being brought back that you used to see with some of the guys in the NFL like Devin Hester. But that all has to do with the new rule changes that they've been implementing into the league over the last few years.
And in high school, it really hasn't changed a whole lot, but there's a devil's advocate, if you want to say, voice in everybody's ear. Battle will come out with 3 wide receivers, 2 to the near side, 1 to the far. Handoff, that is done around the corner, just short of the first down, pushed out of bounds by Carter Madare.
One thing that the Panthers defensive ends just can't afford to do is let that offensive tackle seal you inside and give Ricky Dunn a lane right out off of his butt. Every single time he's going to be able to break that into the secondary for a gain of 5 or 6 yards, and they're going to constantly move the chains.
Second down and 3, ball on the 42. 30 seconds left here in quarter number 1. Panthers lead 6-0. Hand off to Dunn again to the far side. Flag on the play in the area of holding. And it looks like this one's coming back. And now that sun's gone down and starting to feel a little bit better.
The sun going down, that means the temperature starts to go down.
Oh,
no
yes.
more 92 degrees here.
Nope, not at all. And I mean, it was a hot one. This week has been one of the hottest weeks of the summer, since we are technically still in the summertime. 20 seconds, the clock begins to run. 3 wide receivers and a tight end. Goolsby back to pass, floats one, caught, and then tackled down by Connor O'Neill. A nice catch by Trey Richardson, and that'll move the chains with 11 seconds to play.
Richardson doing a good job being quick out of his break on that corner route, being able to create some separation between him and the safety O'Neill. Good enough to get that first down.
11.1, so one last play here before the end of the quarter. Looks like Dunn in at running back. Hand off to him, hits the hole, rumbles forward, still on his feet. First down, gets past the 40. And clock is stopped with 2.8 to go. That'll move the chains again.
And you could really see it on that play right there, how some players are flying up, throwing shoulders into Ricky Dunn, but they're not necessarily wrapping him up. And you could see that there were 2 or 3 Panthers at least who just kind of bounced off of him like pinballs.
Yeah, he runs downhill, and that will end the quarter. So 6-0 after 1. We will take a quick break, and we will be back on Panther Broadcasting, powered by PrepCast.
To get that extra 10%. Reach the next level with Athletic Republic. Athletic Republic is science-based performance sports training, delivering intense, position-specific one-on-one training. Stop working out and start training. Visit your local Athletic Republic training center today. Athletic Republic, where athletes who give 110% get the extra 10%.
Welcome back, everybody, to Panther Broadcasting, powered by PrepCast. My name's Tom Hartbeck. Adam Lewis, my color man beside me. Adam, you played against Battle. I mean, they're always a very good team. But Ricky Dunn is kind of in a class by himself right now. And you said it right before the break. Panthers are kind of bouncing off him like pinballs. I know this is probably a really cliche question, but what do you do to stop it?
Well, I think the biggest thing is you just got to be able to wrap him up in situations like that. Instead of just diving in, throwing your weight at him, you've actually got to wrap him up, try and hold him down. But give credit to his offensive line as well, as they're doing a great job at giving him some holes to run through.
And Christian Spilker is set up as the nose tackle right now. And that position is one that probably will rotate and go to the hot hand as the season goes on out.
Yeah, and we've seen a couple players, Christian Spilker and Nathan Lund, to transfer from Christian High School over in O'Fallon.
Just across the street.
Exactly, just not even a quarter of a mile down the road.
High snap, Smallwood to the far side, and then wrapped up by Henderson.
Early on in the season for this Panthers defense, mainly I would say, is you could possibly see a lot of people battling for spots here in these first couple weeks.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue that point. I mean, the defense is kind of something that Zumwalt North doesn't, always lean on. They're more of an offensive team, but you got to have it to win. But you do not have to be big to win, as so many teams have proven. Goolsby gets a pass off, and that is incomplete. Broken up by, I believe, Jeremiah Dickerson.
And Dickerson with some very good coverage on that quick slant route, as he was able to get his hand over and disrupt that catch.
3rd down and 5 from the 33-yard line, 11-12 to play in the half. Panthers lead 6-0 off the big play from Chris Raquel to Braden Miller. Goolsby again, handoff to Ricky Dunn. Is he there? Looks like they're going to mark him just short. So they give him 4.5. It'll be 4th and short. 4th and short from the 28. Goolsby has Dunn in the backfield. 3 wide receivers and a tight end. Goolsby to Dunn. He is stopped at the line. It was DJ Jones and PJ Henderson who got to him. And that's a turnover on downs. They look like they morphed into the backfield.
They did both get back there very quickly. The Panthers drew up that blitz very nicely.
You can't argue with that one.
And over earlier in the summer, I was actually talking to one of the offensive coaches for Fort Zumwalt North, and he told me specifically, watch out for P.J. Henderson this year. He's going to cause some problems on the defensive side of the ball. He was able to get in the weight room and be able to put on a pretty good amount of muscle during this last offseason. He seems like he's a completely different player than what we saw last year.
Yeah, PJ, I've said his name a few times, but man, oh man, he's had a good game so far. Already, I believe, about 3 tackles. 1st and 10 from the 30 as Raquel has McGee, then Lee, Miller and Hoker. Miller the man in motion. It's going to be Raquel who keeps it, has a hole into the secondary, across the 50 to the 40, to the 30, to the 20, to the 10. And he's pushed out at about the 10-yard line.
And there we see that speed from Chris Raquel.
Yeah, you can't stop that. That has been something the Panthers have done consistently for all the way back to really the Cade Brister days. Been able to run with the quarterback. Jack Newcomb, who really wasn't that fast, even had a few runs like that last year.
Yeah, Jack Newcomb is still a very effective quarterback in terms of running the football.
4 wideouts at the 14-yard line is where they mark him. Battle shows blitz. Lee the man in motion. Lee end around, has nowhere to go, and then steps out of bounds. That's a loss of 2.
Spartans' defensive line and linebackers did a good job kind of building a wall to that far side of the field, able to force Lee out of bounds.
10-11 to play in the half.
And getting down here right around inside the 20, this would be a prime scenario for Chris Reckel to maybe throw the ball up in the end zone for number 12, Zach McGee, to go up and get it.
And that'll be a water break. We'll take a quick one ourselves. 10-11 to play. 2nd down and 13. When we come back, Panthers on top, 6-0. Well,
Bus Lines has been serving the St. Louis metropolitan area since
and welcome back, everybody. Sorry about that. Panthers set in the red zone. It's going to be Raquel who keeps it out to the far side, down to the 5. And let's say he's a yard short of the 1st down. I think we're going to see a lot of quarterback keepers this year, Adam.
Yeah, with Reckles, his agility mainly is what it is. He's got great all-around speed, but just his ability to make those quick cuts and to be able to shake defenders. You're definitely going to want to keep the ball in his hands as much as possible this season.
Now, you want to also limit the punishment he takes. The Panthers also have 2 other options at quarterback in Connor O'Neill and Peyton Hoker. It'll be interesting to see how much time they see under center. Jalen Lee is to the near side of the field, bunched in. Now he moves. Handoff, DJ Jones to the 5, rumbles forward and gets down to the 2. The ball comes into the end zone and then is recovered by the Panthers for a touchdown. It is recovered by number 55, Logan Knapp. So big men everywhere rejoice. You don't have to be a quote-unquote athletic position player to score a touchdown.
Right there, Logan Knapp being able to just jump on a loose ball in the end zone for the Panthers. He rewards himself by getting a touchdown.
I believe, yes, I do believe DJ Jones broke the plane. Yes, it is a touchdown. DJ Jones broke the plane and then fumbled the ball. So credit the touchdown to DJ Jones. But Logan Knapp, nice heads-up play.
We'll keep an asterisk in the books for Logan Knapp there.
Yeah, we'll keep an asterisk. You got to say something for the lineman, right? You're a lineman yourself, man. Panthers will go for 2. Raquel, the quarterback. DJ Jones, the running back. 4 wide receivers. McGee, Lee, Miller, and I believe Dickerson out to the far side. .9:07 to play here in the half. Raquel, option play. Jones has a hole in easily for the score, and the Panthers are back on level terms, 14-0, as they get back to an even score.
Panthers right there really did a good job moving the ball down the field fairly quickly too, as a matter of fact, instead of some of the really long, drawn-out drives that we've seen from the Panthers.
Yeah. I have to say, the offense so far has kind of turned a page. It does take a little. I've always kind of felt Zumwalt North was a second-half team, and it takes a little bit for them to find their legs, especially in the heat. And it's an offense that kind of favors the cold.
Oh, it definitely favors the cold situations where other teams maybe can't throw the football as well or are going to struggle handling the ball. I feel like the Panthers have an advantage there with them, being a run-heavy team, and just in general the way that their scheme is run, they're more used to having those handoffs and transitions with the ball.
So Battle trails 14-0. The Zumwalt North defense has held so far. Knock on wood. Back deep for Battle. Looks like Ricky Dunn and also Malachi Cobbins. Davis Herbst to kick. .9:07 to play here in the half. Yeah, Adam, I think this year we may not see those 50-0 scores, but you're going to see a comprehensive game played nonetheless.
So at the very least, even if you're not seeing those 50-0 ball games, I think you're going to see a very good game no matter what.
High end-over-end kick. It's a little short, caught on the far side. Here they come up the far side again, bouncing off tackles with some room. One man to beat, but he stumbles at the 40. That's a 26-yard return. They'll mark him at the 41. Yeah, there is no number 3 on the official Battle roster. So Jalen Lee spotting up around a cornerback position, it looks like right now. The secondary is Connor O'Neill and also Carter Madare. Battle comes out with 3 wide receivers plus a tight end. Goolsby back to pass. He's flushed from the pocket to the near side, running for his life. Here comes P.J. Henderson, but it's an ill-advised throw that goes well out of bounds. And a flag on the play, maybe in the area of holding.
The Panthers' defensive line giving chase there on Goolsby, as well as seeing P.J. Henderson come flying up out of his coverage to force Goolsby to make a play.
Is P.J. Henderson trying to maybe make a run at that sack record?
He might be. It seems like he's flying off that edge very well. Very similar to what we've seen Parker Monning do in the past.
Parker took his talents and his brains to the Harvard of the Midwest, Washington University in St. Louis. Big thanks to Melissa Wilson Monning the past couple of years, who's helped us out as the sponsor for Prepcast. And Ricky Dunn once again gets a carry and gets back to the original line of scrimmage. But that'll be 2nd and 11.
And that time there we saw the near side defensive end for the Panthers. Number 72, Colin Lobel, did a pretty good job standing his man up and holding his gap, but that pulling guard was just able to kick Henderson out enough to fill a hole for Ricky Dunn.
Any relation to Gavin? Yep. 2nd down and 13 officially. 8:15 to play in the half. 4 wideouts. Low snap. Goolsby flush from the pocket and just runs out of bounds, but the ball is then swatted out of his hand by a charging Shane Pruitt. Credit him with a forced fumble, and the ball goes out of bounds.
And what a smart play by the sophomore Shane Pruitt. Seeing Goolsby run around with without having that ball tuck, kind of running around with the Mike Vick style. and he was able to get a hand on it, force a fumble.
That's a loss of 8. 7:45 to play here in the half. 3rd down and 21. Love to hear that drum line. 3 wideouts to the far side of the field. 1 to the near side. Goolsby back to pass. Looking. Hits one over the middle, and that is incomplete. Intended that time for Andon Aarons. And you were right prior to the game, Adam. He's sailing his passes.
Yeah, we saw Goolsby early on in his warm-up. Seemed like he was just throwing his passes, just putting a little too much touch on them, getting them just out in front of his receivers a little too much. And so far, it seems like that's translated into the game.
4th down and 21. Back deep will be Braden Miller, his second attempt at this. Connor O'Neill will be the secondary man. And what's the strategy behind that? Because that's something different I've seen. I've seen people put 2 men back, even on a line, but never staggered like this, Adam.
Well, the main reason that the Panthers do this is they want to have Miller back as their main return man, and they just keep O'Neill hovered around right in between the returner and the rest of the defense just in case they do go for some sort of fake. They have a little safety help over the top.
And Connor has kind of really adjusted and adapted to that role of basically safety rather than playing quarterback. We thought at the end of the year last year maybe he'd be filling the shoes of Jack Newcomb, but Chris pretty much at that Zumwalt East game I think submitted that.
Yeah, I think you're right. Chris, I do remember that East game very vividly. He put on a real good showing at the quarterback spot, for a fight this year. And I agree, Connor O'Neill, he's kind of moved around a lot. We've seen him at safety, a little bit at running back, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him get tossed in as a slot receiver tonight either.
So again, it will be Miller back deep, then O'Neill. The wingmen are Dickerson and Monty Brew. To punt for Battle is Donovan Hicks. High snap. Caught on a pop fly, but this will be a bouncing ball that goes to the 40 and settles just past at the 38-yard line. 7:28 to play here in the first half. 14-0 our score. The Panthers on top so far. If you're just joining us, my name's Tom Hartbeck. I'm alongside Adam Lewis. Gavin Anderson is our producer today, and welcome to a new face. And that is a new face on our camera, and that's in the form of Parker Kylan. So they will spot the ball at the 43. They say a Battle player touched it there. Nobody will argue with that. Jeremiah Dickerson heads out to his spot on the far side. You'll also have Weddington, then Miller, and then I believe Lee to the near side. Heaves it deep. McGee made the catch. Oh, he couldn't hang on to it. Incomplete. Oh, they're going to give it to him. Wow. Okay, then.
And I believe they did give him possession all the way to the ground with it, and then the ball was just able to pop out after he had already made contact with the ground.
I hadn't seen who it was. Turned out to be Zach McGee who made the catch.
Zach McGee, a new member to the Panthers squad, coming over from Holt High School in Wentzville. Standing at 6'3", he sure does add some height to that wide receiver core instead of the likes of Bobby Maris or Robert Rezix out there.
Certainly does. Dickerson, Weddington, Miller and McGee. Weddington the man in motion, and then a flag. And this penalty being called now for the third time. Oh, excuse me, that is encroachment against the defense. But I can finish this thought. The Panthers getting that false start penalty when they run the sweep or when they run a play action like that with a wide receiver. Is that execution or is that just they didn't check down?
I feel like the main thing that would come in would just be like miscommunication from the sidelines when getting the play called in. Other than that, I couldn't really see, what else it would be to cause so many false start penalties.
Now Miller, the man in motion, and DJ Jones moved that time. They'll throw a play out to the far side, caught, and then checked down, but that play was whistled dead. Play through the whistle. White hat through the flag. DJ Jones checks out. Connor O'Neill checking in. So that's a 5-yard penalty. First and 10 from the 25. Connor O'Neill coming in at running back. This is interesting. Dickerson, Weddington, Miller, and then McGee. Defense shows blitz. Raquel tucks it up the middle, trying to drive forward, does, and maybe call that a gain of 4.
And personally, right there, if I were Chris Reckel, I would have liked to see him attack that defensive end more with the option and maybe even give it to O'Neill instead of trying to force that one inside too much.
So now Chris Raquel going over to the sideline, getting the call. Now coming back, Connor O'Neill going to stay out there. Technically, the Panthers could run up and throw a empty backfield into the mix, but they won't. Dickerson, Weddington, Miller, then McGee. And under center, Alex Goki. Miller, the man in motion to the far side. Back to pass. Raquel got one. Wide open. Weddington. And he floated it just short. And that was actually Jeremiah Dickerson.
Yeah, not only was that pass maybe not put in the best spot, but it also seemed like Dickerson had trouble tracking it through the air. You saw him try and make a couple late adjustments on the ball. Just couldn't quite get there.
The play was ran almost to perfection were it not for the pass.
Yeah, Dickerson was able to get past his man and just kind of sneak by the coverage of the safeties. He was wide open in the end zone.
3rd down and 8 from the 24. 6:19 to play. Panthers on top, 14-0. Same wide receiver core here. And then we get a whistle and a timeout taken by Zumwalt North. That's their second charge timeout. Jalen Lee getting a rest. There are receivers out the wazoo on this team, man.
Yeah, the Panthers have a lot of depth at their receiver, their slot, and wideout position, and that's why you're going to see quite a few guys rotating through, especially the ones that are playing two ways like Jeremiah and Jalen Lee, who haven't necessarily done that before, at least maybe not since like their middle school days.
Oh, yeah. And playing two ways, really in any class of Missouri high school football, is not uncommon, believe it or not. Unless you have a team of 75.
Just something very rarely seen.
Now you'll see if you're a major athlete at any big school or any program, you're going to go both ways. A lot of times running backs will double as safeties, sometimes defensive backs. And Jalen Lee, touted as one of the top two-way players in the state, as he checks back into the game. To the far side is going to be numbers 4 and 5. Dickerson, the wide out. The slot man is Lee. Then the near side, slot man Miller. Then Zach McGee to the near side. He sets up just outside the 25-yard line. Connor O'Neill back behind center, but it's Raquel who keeps it himself. Gets down to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, and pushed out of bounds, but he does get the first.
Right there we see Reckel with kind of like a delayed quarterback draw on that play, as he faked the handoff to the left, kind of stood in the pocket for a second, and then just tucked it and took off to the right with it.
Well, when a quarterback keeps the ball in Joe Bacon's playbook, he can do that. Again, it is Dickerson, then Lee. Miller and McGee are the wide receivers. DJ Jones back in at running back in the shotgun. Handoff to DJ Jones, and he dives forward to get down inside the 5. And that will run the clock down even more.
Now we get to the point in the game here with you see the Panthers having a 2-possession lead and knocking on the door to make it a 3-possession lead. This is where you're going to see this offense really start to slow down, take their time, and try and eat up as much of that clock as they can.
Yeah, because maybe they're not as high-powered as they normally are, but it still ran the same way, and they still have the tools. Again, you know, I've been reading this up, and this is kind of my consensus. You're not going to see those huge blowout games, but you're going to see a very comprehensive game played the same way it always has been, as Raquel keeps it, and that's a touchdown. Turn the page, turn the page. That's been the mantra the past decade for the Panthers. And it looks like they've done that, even if they've had to adjust this year.
Yep, and that's one of many quarterback keepers taken into the end zone from Chris Reckel that I think you can expect to see this season.
Connor O'Neill to hold, Davis Herbst to kick. 5:19 to play in the half, 20-0. Zumwalt North on top. Looks like Battle might be coming after this one. Snap back, ball down, kick up, and through the uprights. 21-zip is the score. 5:19 to play in the first half. We'll be right back on Panther Broadcasting, powered by Prepcast.com.
To get that extra 10%. Reach the next level with Athletic Republic. Athletic Republic is science-based performance sports training, delivering intense, position-specific one-on-one training. Stop working out and start training. Visit your local Athletic Republic training center today. Athletic Republic, where athletes who give 110% get the extra 10%.
Welcome back, everybody. 21-0. The Panthers with the lead. Man, oh man, have they turned the page. Some people were skeptical. There was talk around Twitter and the social media sphere that their ranking was given based on past success, but you come in and you play your rival like this so far, you can't complain.
No, I think the Panthers have they've had a real good showing tonight against the Battle Spartans, a team who, no matter how skilled they were on paper, always seemed to match up well against the Panthers and give them a tough fight.
Panthers getting set to kick. That's Davis Herbst. Herbst boots it away, but whistles on the play. And we'll wait to see what we see from the white hat. So that'll be a false start against the Panthers. That's a 5-yard penalty, and I am looking over in the North student section. I believe the theme is Hawaiian Night. That's what it looks like to me.
Yes.
Herbst again to kick. 5:19 to play in the half. Panthers on top here, 21-0. Herbst stands at the 25. Now here's the run-up. Another end over end. Caught at the 7. Picked back up by, that looks like Ricky Dunn. Flag on the play. He breaks free. Down to the 50, 30, and then dragged down to the 25, but that one is coming back.
Kickoff return, but there is a flag on the play.
Malachi Cobbins with a real solid return for Battle. Unfortunately, it's going to be coming back down the field due to a holding call. And that's another place where it really seems like the Panthers would have improved, because I believe, if I remember correctly, that Battle had 2 kick return touchdowns
They
in
did.
the home opener last season.
They did. And that home opener for Battle last year was just a crazy game. 103 points put up. And the Panthers offensively did not play a bad game, but defensively you didn't know what was going on. And we attributed it to there were 2 different off seasons had. Battle had a pretty normal off season. Zumwalt did not by any means. But now, level playing field. So Battle will take over from their own 21-yard line. Goolsby throws one in the flat. Caught and then incomplete. They say he never had possession. Intended that time for Livingston Cody.
Livingston Cody, the big tight end we see implemented into this Battle offense, mainly used as an extra blocker. However, they do try to get the ball into his hands whenever they can.
Now next week you take on Howell. Always a big team, always tough. We know how that Howell game was last year. One of the best endings in recent memory. 4 wide outs. Goolsby puts it deep. Incomplete. Caught but out of bounds.
Yeah, that ball was just maybe a step or 2 far out of the playing field. Therefore, Keelan Horn could not come down with the catch. Keeps Battle out of 3rd and long here.
Third and 10 from the 21-yard line. 4:55. Goolsby again, back to pass, rush from the pocket, and caught in the flat again by Livingston Cody, but then dragged down short of the first down. That'll be 4th and short.
And a really good ball by Goolsby, good ball placement with DJ Jones bringing that pressure from the middle. So he was able to get hands on Goolsby while that pass was being delivered. This one's going to be marked down real close.
4th and 1 is what they give him. 4:10 to play in the half.
Looks like we're closer to 4th and inches here than 4th and 1.
I would have to agree with you. 3 wide outs, 2 to the near side, 1 to the far. Goolsby throws one in the flat, caught. First down. All you had to do was get a hand to it. And that's a gain of 5 and moving the chains.
And once again, we see them getting the pass out to Livingston Cody. A couple times here where we've seen them kind of delay the handoff in the backfield and just have that tight end leak out to the flat.
First and 10 from the 35. 21-0, 3:35 to play. Handoff to Ricky Dunn. No, that's Smallwood. He gets a gain of 5 and then is dragged down on the play by Colin LaBelle.
Jalen Lee did a good job getting to him, wrapping him up long enough for LaBelle to come in and help make the tackle.
That'll be 2nd down and 5. 3:05 to play in the half as this last few minutes has dragged. Out there, Jeremiah Dickerson, P.J. Henderson, Jalen Lee, Connor O'Neill, as well as Carter Madare. And timeout taken by Battle. 2:51 to go. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be right back on Prepcast.com.
Bus Lines has been serving the St. Louis metropolitan area since 1932, and they take pride in their well-maintained fleet of clean, comfortable European-style motor coaches and vans. Whether you're interested in a tour of the beautiful and historic St. Louis area or a charter trip to the lower 48 continental United States or parts of Canada, it's Vandalia Bus Lines, the largest fleet in the St. Louis area. Call them at 800-542-4287.
Welcome back, everybody, to Prepcast.com. My name's Tom Hartbeck. Bringing you the play-by-play action. Year 3 here for me at Zumwalt North. Adam Lewis next to me, year 2 for him. Gavin Anderson, year 3 for him. And a new face, Parker Kylan, running camera today. Welcome to the Panther Broadcasting family, Parker. Goolsby, handoff that time to Smallwood. Wrestled down short of the first down. 3rd down and maybe 2. It'll be 3rd and 2 with 2:30 to play.
Once again, we see Ricky Dunn back into the lineup for the Spartans.
If I'm Battle, I think I'm keeping him in most of the game because it looks like the Panthers are able to stop Smallwood. They're really not with Dunn. And he loves to run it up the middle. Goolsby to Dunn, right back up the throat. And he's dragged down just across the first down marker. But the ball came out. The Panthers think they have it. And Ricky Dunn recovers. A gain of 6 for the first down.
And I agree, if I were Battle, I would like to try and keep Ricky Dunn in the game as much as possible. However, with him being a two-way player, maybe early on in the season with these hot temps, they have to pull him out to try and avoid crampings.
Yeah, I would agree with that because you don't want to have a Booby Miles happen. But as we get set, 3 wideouts plus a tight end for Battle. Goolsby. Defense shows blitz. He's back to pass. They rush him. They throw it deep, and it's incomplete.
Goolsby looking to take that shot downfield, but Andon Aarons, the tight end, number 7, he kind of posted up for a second, acting like he was pass blocking, and then he just took off on a little seam route down the field, and he was wide open. About 10 yards down the field with no one around him.
2nd down and 10 from the 49 for Battle. 1:41 to play in the half. High snap, handoff to Dunn. A gain of 1. 3rd and 9 from the 50. 1:20 to play. And so far, apart from that first drive, Adam, it looks like Battle can move the ball against the Panthers. They just can't quite move it quick enough and farther enough up the field.
Yeah, it seems like with their run game, they do a pretty good job at being able to pick up chunks of yards, but they're just really struggling to convert on those 3rd down and medium to long situations.
And here's one here. 3rd and 9. Goolsby blitzed. They get one out. Big hit by Shane Pruitt to stuff him.
Sophomore linebacker Shane Pruitt lining up a devastating hit right there. That looks like it's going to bring out the punt team for the Spartans.
And North will get the ball back. A chance to do something, maybe dip into the bag of tricks here before the end of the first half. .51 seconds. the time it takes for the punt to happen, let's say 10 seconds, you'll have about 40 seconds to get what you can.
Panthers also only have one timeout left remaining in this half.
Going back deep. Nobody was set on the play. White hat threw his hat.
After the play had already blown, so.
That might be a spot foul. Maybe the ref heard something. False start on the offense. Dead ball, unsportsmanlike on the offense. So that will really help the Panthers with under a minute to go.
Spartans here just seem like as the Panthers scoring continues to increase and their struggle or their offense continues to struggle, it just seems like the frustration's kind of showing here a little bit.
And that's been the case in a lot of the Panther victories in this rivalry. The 8th meeting between the two schools.
And only the 2nd time in the regular season.
Very true. Battle to punt. It's high. It's a lob. It is almost blocked. They might have gotten a hand to it. It's caught at the 30. That's DJ Jones down to the 20, 10, 5. Yes, sir!
This one's coming back.
But a flag at the 15.
Flag down at the roughly in the 15 to the 20-yard line. They're going to get the Panthers with a block in the back.
So a brief moment of jubilation. You'll have plenty of time, though, to get 15 yards. But a great job to block the punt by Andy Guthrie.
And DJ Jones, great awareness to see that ball pop up in the air and able to catch it and get a good return on it.
So it's a spot foul that pushes the Panther back to the 27 with 37 seconds left in the half. Can the Panthers get to 28 points? Checking into the game is Adam Confer and Christian Spilker. DJ Jones is the running back. McGee is the wide out to the near side. And Battle will take a timeout. This is a big momentum swing right here, Adam.
Yeah, we've only got 37 seconds left here in the half, and the Panthers knocking on the door to make this a 4-possession lead. I feel like if the Panthers were able to put some more points on the board here before the end of half, that's almost a backbreaker in this game.
A little bit. One of the big games around town, CBC trailing East St. Louis 24-20 late in the second quarter. That's a close game. Another big one to watch on Prepcast, the St. Mary's Lutheran North game. St. Mary's #1 in small schools.
Lutheran North also having a new head coach this season with Coach Carl Reed headed over to DeSmet, take over the head coaching reins.
37 seconds. Raquel back to pass, looking, throwing, incomplete.
That pass just a little too low and away for Zach McGee on the near sidelines.
I feel like they're trying to throw the pass maybe at the 5, get out of bounds, and then run one in.
If I were the Panthers, it seems like your most likely bet to try and put points on the board here, but they still have 34 seconds left and a timeout.
This seems like a good area to run what I call the Tyler Oaks special. You basically would put, in this situation, a slot man in motion, but they're not going to do that. They'll come up with two tight ends. Jalen Lee to the near side. Pass. Intercepted. Intended for Lee. Down to the 50, and that one is gone. Goodbye. Touchdown, Spartans.
No flags on the field, and the Spartans defense is doing a good job undercutting that out route, being able to take the ball away from Jalen Lee and just a straight shot down the sideline to the end zone.
Yeah, that was a telegraphed pass. It looked to me like Raquel was really trying to force it to Lee, who was open, but it looked like the safety had come down and took it away. And it was in the form of Rasul Traylor. And he took that one 80 yards to the house. So that'll make it 21-6 with 20 seconds to play. Still some time, possibly for the Panthers to do something here.
And you have to wonder if that play right there was the momentum boost that Battle needed going into this halftime.
Knock on wood, Adam. Man, that was one of the most devil's advocate comments I've heard you say. Okay, then. Battle will go for two. And they get it as Rookie Dunn dives across the line. And that'll be 21-8. Now, does Coach Bacon play this one safe, get the ball back, and just take some knees?
Maybe not take some knees, but also probably won't be looking to take any big shots downfield. Maybe just go with a run play or two, because you never know with this offense. Blocks could line up perfectly, and you could have a 75-yard walk into the end zone.
Well, you could. .20 seconds left in the half. 21-8 now the score as Battle takes a pick six to the house.
We also saw Jalen Lee have a pretty good opening kickoff return for the Panthers, and that's the only time so far that they have had to receive a kick, except for a punt. So maybe we'll also see them be able to break a pretty big return here, set them up to try and put some points on the board.
Going back deep for the Panthers is Dickerson, Lee, and Weddington. Number 3, no name on his roster. Apologies. He will kick. This looks to be an onside kick as their normal kicker is set up in the line. Watch out for the trickery here. No, they will kick it deep. Caught on the far side by Lee. He is tripped up right before he could break through. A good return, though, and Lee has some explosiveness to him. He'll take one back eventually this year, I'm pretty sure of it.
Yeah, with the breakthrough speed that Jalen Lee has right there, he was real close to taking that one, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him take a couple to the house throughout this season as well.
15.2 left in this half, 21-8. It's a 13-point lead for Zumwalt North. Four wide outs for Chris Raquel. Trips to the near side. Miller, the man in motion. It's Raquel who keeps it to the 40 and gets out of bounds at the 50 with 9 seconds.
Him stepping out of bounds allows the Panthers to hold on to their timeout just in case they do decide they want to take a shot here.
9.3 seconds left in this half. These couple drives are momentum boosters. Battle takes a scoring opportunity away from Zumwalt North, takes one to the house, and gets their first points.
We also see the Spartans setting up with 5 defensive backs.
They're in the prevent defense. Now it is Raquel. And he needs to get out of bounds, and he does. Loss of 5. And I see a parent eating a pretzel that is rather large. Wow.
Well, if you don't know, the FZN concession stands here are argued to be one of the best in the Midwest, especially their pretzels.
I mean, literally, that's the size of the plate. 3.1 seconds. Not too sure what the bag of tricks would entail for Coach Joe Bacon. Maybe a reverse, but you don't want to put all your eggs into 2 plays on this half.
Yeah, and I feel like a play with 3 seconds left before the end of half on your side of the field, it might just be a little too early and not the right circumstances to maybe call a reverse quite yet.
Oh no. Zach McGee on the near side of the field. Then it is Dickerson, Miller, and Lee on the far side of the field. 4 wide out set and trips to the far side, and a prevent defense in front of Chris Raquel with 3 seconds left. It's just a handoff up the middle to DJ Jones. He takes it to ground. Gets back to the original line, and that will end the first half. 21-8 is the score. I think most of the boxes were checked in that first half, Adam.
Yeah, the Panthers so far putting a pretty solid effort in this first half. A few, kind of misplays early on, a couple bad penalties. But overall, I think the Panthers have looked real good.
Well, after 1 half of play, Panthers 21, Spartans 8. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with the second half on prepcast.com.
Want to be prepared for an emergency? Here are 3 easy steps to ensure you and your family are ready in the event of a disaster. Step 1. Put together an emergency supply kit with essential food, water, flashlight and radio, first aid and medical items, and copies of important documents. A supply of water and non-perishable food items is essential, so prepare a 3-day supply in case of an evacuation, or a 2-week supply if you are confined to your home during an emergency, including 1 gallon of water per person per day. Be sure to gather flashlights and extra batteries, and some extra cash to include in your emergency kit. Step 2. Talk to your family to develop a disaster preparedness plan. Have a couple of designated meeting places in case your family members get separated. It's wise to have one meeting spot right outside of your home and one outside of your neighborhood in the case of an evacuation. Decide on an emergency contact who lives outside of your area and make sure everyone in your family has their phone number. Develop an evacuation plan and practice it with your family twice a year. Don't forget to include your pets in the plan. Practice following multiple routes to safety or sheltering in place in safe spaces in your home. Once you're safe, remember to contact other family members through email, text, phone, or social media to let them know you're okay. You can also work with your local Red Cross to list yourself as safe and well. Step 3. Be informed. Learn what you need to know to keep your family safe. Know what kinds of disasters and emergencies are likely to occur in your area and monitor the news if a watch or warning is issued. At least one family member should possess knowledge of first aid and CPR. Share your emergency knowledge with friends and family and encourage others to be prepared too. For more information and a full list of survival kit items, visit redcross.org/prepare.
Bus Lines has been serving the St. Louis metropolitan area since 1932, and they take pride in their well-maintained fleet of clean, comfortable, European-style motor coaches and vans. Whether you're interested in a tour of the beautiful and historic St. Louis area or a charter trip to the lower 48 continental United States or parts of Canada, it's Vandalia Bus Lines, the largest fleet in the St. Louis area. Call them at 800-542-4287.
Looking to get that extra 10%. Reach the next level with Athletic Republic. Athletic Republic is science-based performance sports training, delivering intense, position-specific one-on-one training. Stop working out and start training. Visit your local Athletic Republic training center today. Athletic Republic, where athletes who give 110% get the extra 10%.
Vandalia Bus Lines has been serving the St. Louis metropolitan area since 1932, and they take pride in their well-maintained fleet of clean, comfortable, European-style motor coaches and vans. Whether you're interested in a tour of the beautiful and historic St. Louis area or a charter trip to the lower 48 continental United States or parts of Canada, it's Vandalia Bus Lines, the largest fleet in the St. Louis area. Call them at 800-542-4287.
Want to be prepared for an emergency? Here are 3 easy steps to ensure you and your family are ready in the event of a disaster. Step 1. Put together an emergency supply kit with essential food, water, flashlight and radio, first aid and medical items, and copies of important documents. A supply of water and non-perishable food items is essential, so prepare a 3-day supply in case of an evacuation, or a 2-week supply if you are confined to your home during an emergency, including 1 gallon of water per person per day. Be sure to gather flashlights and extra batteries, and some extra cash to include in your emergency kit. Step 2. Talk to your family to develop a disaster preparedness plan. Have a couple of designated meeting places in case your family members get separated. It's wise to have one meeting spot right outside of your home and one outside.
And welcome back, everybody, to Prepcast.com and Panther Broadcasting. My name's Tom Hartbeck, alongside Adam Lewis in this one, and right now we have a pretty good score, 21-8. Zumwalt North on top of Battle after 1 half of play. And as we said, Adam, boxes were pretty much checked other than 1 play.
Yep, Panthers really seemed like they did a good job controlling that first half, just with the exception of that big mistake, that pick 6 from Chris Reckel.
Really only 2 mistakes, the pick 6 and then the muffed punt. But now you got to give the ball back to Battle to start this second half, and this is a very crucial drive, as it is in pretty much every game. But, you know, North is also a second half team, so both teams have, made adjustments.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell with the adjustments that have been made in the locker room what Battle's exactly going to come out and do here. Do they come out and continue the strong run game with Ricky Dunn, or do they maybe try and open up the passing playbook a little more, being down 2 possessions already?
And the bleachers start to shake here as we get set. Back deep for Battle is Ricky Dunn, a nameless player, and as well Livingston Cody. To kick is Davis Herbst from the 40-yard line as we are set for football here in half number 2. A lot of people are scoreboard watching in St. Charles. Howell North is on top of Oakville, 21-14. That's a struggling program you always want to root for. High kick. Caught at the 10. Fumble! Still free, and then caught at the 21. Malachi Cobbins bobbled the catch.
And the Spartans were luckily able to recover that one there, as we saw a couple players dive for, and it was still free sitting there on the turf.
.11:55 will now be on the clock. Battle takes over from the 21-yard line. Man, I'm gonna have to say that the comments about the floor in here today are very prevalent.
Well, when you come up to the press box,
And it's all
you see-
clean.
Yeah, you see nice new clean things.
Yeah. And right off the bat, timeout Battle. So they burn one of their 3 timeouts here very early.
And from the look on the players, it just seems like there was some confusion there. It's going to end up costing them an early timeout here.
On a muggy night here in O'Fallon. Currently right now, about, I'm going to say it's about 75 before I look at my weather app. 75? 75 would be nice, but it's probably got a heat index. Oh, man, 84. I was way off. Whatever. .84 degrees and muggy here on kickoff 2021 of the North season.
The low winds aren't helping with that temperature either.
Goolsby hands it off. Maybe a 5-yard gain that time by Smallwood.
Number 5, Lavondre Smallwood, brought down by number 5, Jalen Lee of the Panthers.
And that's an official timeout. For what?
It was
A helmet came off. That was Donovan Hicks. So he'll check out for a play.
Per MISHA rules, you do have to check out for just one play if your helmet pops off during.
But you don't have to go through concussion protocol.
You do not have to go through concussion protocol. No.
Wow. 3 wideouts, 1 slot man. Goolsby calls signals, now backs up. Play action pass, caught in the flat. Missed tackle. Now a big play to the 50, down to the 40, and pushed out of bounds by Connor O'Neill.
And the Spartans setting up that screen pass, and number 11, Carter Madere, just coming downfield a little too hard, misses his tackle. That breaks a huge play for the Spartans.
11:19 to play. Big play. Spartans now into Panther territory at the officially 40-yard line.
And that's something we saw Battle use very effectively over the last 7 or so years playing against the Panthers, is they love to use their screen game with their wide receivers and their slot backs.
Goolsby again, hands it off, and Smallwood's got nowhere to go. He runs into 3 Panthers. P.J. Henderson was there, and so I believe was Deion Thompson. That brings up a 2nd and 13 from the 43 with 11 minutes to go.
Also noticing that Battle has gone with Lavondre Smallwood the whole series, this whole opening series of the second half so far at running back, leaving Ricky Dunn on the sidelines for who knows what reason.
Panthers show blitz again. Here they come. Oh, Goolsby has to throw it. He gets one off, wide open, tipped and incomplete. Nice job that time by Connor O'Neill to avoid pass interference.
Saw Henderson getting in the backfield early, end up losing his feet, and then LaBelle doing a good job of putting pressure on Goolsby.
And North has very athletic corners and backs. You're going to have a very good, perfectly ran pass play to beat them. You're almost going to have to throw it underneath, possibly.
And with this very athletic DB core, as you said, the Panthers love to run a lot of very tight man coverage, and that's something you'll see a lot of times. You'll see Lee on the outside.
They blitz again, but they throw this one short to Smallwood. He stays on his feet across the 30, gets the first down, and down to the 25. And again, that was kind of a throw underneath pass, but a flag on the play.
Yeah, and right there we saw the Spartans use some of their receivers out wide, just kind of have them streaking deep to get all the linebackers to drop back, and they were able to hit Smallwood on the little underneath route.
And it looks like Jonah Dubinsky is not happy over on the Battle sideline. Head coach of the Battle Spartans.
The newly hired head coach.
They got a new head coach.
Battle Spartans.
After going 8-2?
Yes, I forget his name, forgive me, but their head coach who was there last season took an assistant job at Mizzou, actually.
Well, you're not going to argue with that.
And
So
Coach Dubinsky as well, being a Mizzou alumni, member of the football team.
Who isn't in Columbia? And they will wave off the flag. So ball at the 40. Looks like Coach Dubinsky was rather persuasive. So it's an 18-yard catch for Trey Richardson, and we'll set up at the Panther 25. Goolsby has Smallwood in the backfield. Richardson out to the far side in the slot. Panthers blitz. Smallwood hits the hole, going nowhere. Maybe a gain of 1 or 2, and more flags. Those came in late.
Yeah, and you wonder if it's going to be an unnecessary roughness or a late hit call here against one of the Panthers. As we saw bodies jumping on top of that pile as the whistle was blowing.
And that will kill the Panthers' momentum. Half the distance to goal, so that moves it up. 1st and 10 from the 12. Minutes to play here in the third quarter.
Early on this third quarter, it seems like that game clock is ticked down very slowly.
Oh, yeah. Goolsby comes to the line. He's got 3 wide receivers, 2 to the far side, 1 to the near, and that one's punched in. Panthers show blitz. Goolsby back to pass. Throws one deep. Almost picked off by DJ Jones, and he had nothing but green space in front of him.
DJ Jones, recognizing it's a pass, dropping back into his zone. He was able to get a hand on that ball, just wasn't able to come down with it. And man, he probably would have been able to take that one to the house if he did.
And DJ overcompensated for that. That one was behind him. Had to range back to try and get a hand on it. Now he checks out of the game. Coming into the game for the Panthers is Alex Goki.
Goki's going to check into that defensive end slot on the far side.
9:35 to go. Goolsby handoff up the middle to Smallwood, going nowhere.
LaBelle, the near side defensive end on that play, the first one to get there.
And Smallwood is down. Looks like a cramp, possibly. $9:24 to play. 3rd down and 8. Ball on the officially the 10. And Smallwood with a cramp gets right back up. Looks like he will probably come out for a bit. needs help getting off the field, though. So we'll see who they put in at running back.
You could almost all but guarantee that it's going to be Ricky Dunn stepping back into the backfield. So he had such a strong first half for the Spartans. Kind of shocking to see him coming out of the second half and not getting that many touches.
(21 to 8), 9:24 to play as we come back set for football. 3rd down and 8 from the 10-yard line. Battle trying to go in for a score and chip away at this Panther lead. Panthers pinch in. Goolsby to Ricky Dunn. He got through to the 5. And he stopped. So that'll be 4th down and 3 from the 5.
And if those Spartans here are able to convert on this first down, even if they don't get in the end zone, that's really going to set them up, giving them a 1st and goal from the 2-yard line.
Normally Battle will go for it and really try and push into that end zone on these type of situations. You've got 3 wideouts, 2 to the near side, plus a tight end. Done. They blew the play dead.
False start call.
False start on the offense, so that'll push them back in a passing situation probably then.
Saw P.J. Henderson there, the outside linebacker. He was able to set in on that read option, and when Goolsby pulled it, he was right there waiting for him. And Dunn, once again, is coming out of the game for the Spartans here on offense.
So Smallwood checks back in. No, excuse me, it is not Smallwood, it is Bryson Johnson, I believe, wearing number 1. Goolsby back to pass, looking, flush from the pocket, throws one into the flat, wide open, touchdown. And it's Trey Richardson with the touchdown reception, 21-14.
Just a breakdown in coverage there for the Panthers. Richardson was left wide open, hanging out right around the sideline on the 10-yard line.
Official timeout on the field. And another cramp, it looks like. That's a Panther. 8-12 to play here in the 3rd. 21-14, it's a smash mouth game. You knew it wasn't going to be a blowout like you're normally used to with Zumwalt North. Normally we see blowouts until playoff time past few years. And the cramp is Jeremiah Dickerson. He'll hobble off, drink some water, get some cold sponge on that.
Maybe drink a little bit of pickle juice on that sideline.
Pickle juice?
Whatever it takes.
Pickle juice?
Pickle juice is what's used to kill cramps.
Please no.
That's not too bad. You get
I
used
can't
to
stand. I can't stand pickle. Please no. 21-14. Battle going for 2 to get within a touchdown. Pass incomplete.
Looked like that one was swatted down near the line of scrimmage.
So 21-14, Panthers with a touchdown lead. 8:12 to go here in the 3rd. We'll take a quick 30-second break, and we'll be right back on Prepcast.com.
To get that extra 10%. Reach the next level with Athletic Republic. Athletic Republic is science-based performance sports training, delivering intense, position-specific one-on-one training. Stop working out and start training. Visit your local Athletic Republic training center today. Athletic Republic, where athletes who give 110% get the extra 10%.
Welcome back, everybody, to Panther Broadcasting, powered by Prepcast. My name's Tom Hartbeck. I'll be bringing you the play-by-play tonight and this year number 3 for me. Adam Lewis is back again as our color commentator, and so is Gavin Anderson, our producer. And also a new face in the Panther Broadcasting family. Welcome into the broadcast, Parker Kylan, excuse me. 21-14, Panthers with the lead, but battled, has had the last 2 scores. They had a late pick 6 in the first half, got a 2-point conversion, and then just failed their 2-point conversion.
Spartans looking confused on their kickoff formation here.
And it's a short kick this time. They'll let it bounce. And falling on it was, I believe, Chris Reckel. No, excuse me, Braden Miller. That's the second time Braden has had a testy moment on special teams.
Well, that time he did a good job just being able to get down and cover it up instead of allowing a turnover on their side of the field.
8:12 to play here in the third quarter. First down and 10 from the 29 is where the guys in green will take over.
And knowing this Panthers offense, I wouldn't be surprised if the Spartans don't see their offensive team on the field until roughly 3 or 4 minutes left in this quarter.
Jalen Lee gets the handoff, spins away, pushes forward, maybe a gain of 2 or 3. They give him 1 on the play, actually. I was generous. Second down and 9, 7:55 to go. Ball now on the 30-yard line.
Peyton Hoker checks into the game for the Panthers at receiver.
Hoker, Miller, Lee, and McGee. It's Raquel who keeps it, pushes forward, and a gain of 6. Third down and 3. 7-10.
Panthers here in a 3rd and 3 situation. Wouldn't be surprised to see this be a run play between the tackles.
DJ Jones, he hasn't had a whole lot of touches today.
He hasn't had a whole lot of touches, but he does have a touchdown in the stat book.
He does, as he stands up in the pistol, close to Chris Reckel. Option. Reckel keeps it. Has the first.
Just slowly and methodically, the Panthers are just going to continue to chip away at that time and move the chains down the field.
And they will definitely try and stay in bounds.
As much as possible. The more time they can take off that clock, the better.
Almost running, I mean, in my opinion, they always try and stay in between the hashes.
I feel like for them, staying in between the hashes is, good. It kind of keeps a neutral set for each snap.
That's true. Same wide receiver formation. Hoker. Then McGee. Coker. Then Miller. Battle shows blitz. Lee the man in motion. Handoff DJ Jones. He got a push, but then was stopped at the line.
Jones is going to sub out. Connor O'Neill is going to step in for him.
Connor O'Neill coming in at running back. I wonder what the thinking is behind that.
He's a kid who likes to play physical football. He doesn't mind lowering his shoulder and meeting a linebacker in the gap, if I had to guess.
Hitting. He's not playing running back. He's playing hitting back or blocking back.
Well, in the Panther offense, the tailback position that we see Jones and O'Neal play, it's actually not called a running back, it's called the hammerback.
Flag on the play. Delay game on the offense. So that'll push him back. 2nd down and 16. And that is a water break. So we will take a quick break during the water break, and we'll be right back on Prepcast.com.
To get that extra 10%. Reach the next level with Athletic Republic. Athletic Republic is science-based performance sports training, delivering intense, position-specific one-on-one training. Stop working out and start training. Visit your local Athletic Republic training center today. Athletic Republic, where athletes who give 110% get the extra 10%.
Welcome back, everybody, to Prepcast. 21-14. Panthers with the lead and the ball with 5:22 to play here in the third quarter. Coming to you high in the catbird seat at the packed house of the Zumwalt North Panthers here off of Tom Ginnever Boulevard. Tom Ginnever Drive. 21-14 the score. 2nd down and 16 from the 35 for Chris Raquel in company. He's got 3 wide receivers out to his near side. Connor O'Neal's the running back. Raquel going to roll out. Throws one into the flat, caught by Jalen Lee for a small gain.
Seems like it'll get them back up close to the original line of scrimmage.
3rd and 10. The clock will continue to run. Now under 5 minutes. Ball on the 41-yard line. This is a crucial play here for the Panthers. Trailing by a touchdown is battle. Panthers have a lead, but it is, let's just say, a cute one. Out to the far side, Hoker. Then Miller and Lee. Zach McGee is the wide out to the near side, right on the 40-yard line. O'Neal, the running back. Reckel calling signals. Back to pass. Looking. Flushed. Stays on his feet. End around. Still throws one out. And that one is caught by Hoker. A big play that time. What a job by Chris Reckel to get away from coverage and use his legs and use his eyes.
Yeah, and really a great job to put that ball in a catchable spot for Hoker downfield. On the move, too.
And that one will really help as the clock will run. 4:30 to go.
And if Chris Reckel is able to make plays like that all season long and deep into the playoffs, that's really going to be a contributing factor to the success. Is when you have a quarterback who can avoid those sacks and able to turn them into positive plays for your offense. That's huge later on in the season.
Reckel keeps it. Fires through the hole, gets a couple of positive yards, and the clock continues to drain. Coach Joe Bacon would be mad if he scored before the end of the third quarter.
Absolutely. If they don't go into the fourth quarter with the possession of the ball here, that's going to be talked about in film tomorrow morning. I could guarantee it.
4 wide receivers again. Weddington, the slot man on the near side. He's in motion. Reckel keeps it, hits a hole, and falls down. That'll be 3rd down and about 7. Third and 6. Because now you're in that no man's land. You got to go for it on 4th down either way.
Yeah, you're kind of in that weird situation where it's just a little too far for a field goal, but being on the opposing side of the field, you don't necessarily want to punt either.
Reckel keeps it. Nice spin move. First down and a little bit more, but the ball comes out and the Panthers fall on it. There is a flag on the play.
Chris Reckel doing a good job bouncing off that tackler, spinning out of it.
Holding on the offense. Yep. So a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. And that is a very costly penalty. So all the way back to the 39. And now it's 3rd and 13. Now you're in that area where you threw the interception.
And the Panthers once again just kind of shooting themselves in the foot with these penalties here.
I might take a shot here. Miller, the man in motion, play action pass. Reckel overshot it. And they did take a shot. And that brings up 4th down and 13.
And that's the second time tonight here where we've seen the Panthers have an open shot deep downfield towards the end zone, and they just weren't able to come up with it. We saw the pass earlier to Jeremiah Dickerson in the first half. Now that one to McGee.
Now DJ Jones checks back in at running back. Connor O'Neill checks out.
4th and 13 here, right around 40-yard line, the Battle Spartans 40-yard line.
Battle setting up like they are believing a punt is coming. 2:33 to go here in the third. And they'll take a strategic delay of game here to punt the ball. So 4th and 18 now. That is a tactical penalty. I think Coach Bacon trying to coffin kick here.
Definitely. Reckel's got a pretty good leg on him, so they're setting him up to where he can kick that ball, but just not too far to where it's going to go into the end zone.
Reckel to punt. Snap back, ball down, and that was way too hard, but no, I'll take that out at the 10-yard line. Oh, 15-yard line is where they'll give it.
Even then, a punt inside the 20 is still pretty good field position for the Panthers defense to come out and defend.
Yeah, the way Battle runs their offense, it'll take them just as long to get down the field. You can win the game on the clock as well as the scoreboard. So even though that drive doesn't pan out the way Coach Bacon wants, he does a good bit of damage.
And at the end of the day, they were able to kill just over 5.5 minutes of that game clock just with that one drive.
10 seconds to get the play off here for Battle. And that one is stopped in its tracks, and there was a flag on the play. Looked like we had 11 men and they had 12. Oh, no.
Battle once again just showing that sort of disorganized look as we have a player, a Spartan lineman, go down.
This will probably be an illegal substitution. Offside against the offense is what they call. So that pushes it back to the 10 with 2:22 to play. And a lineman hobbling off the field for Battle. That looks like it is number 52, Aiden Jones. First and 15 from the 10.
Last time Battle was down this close to their own end zone, it didn't turn out very well.
That's Smallwood. End around, flag on the play. He doesn't get much.
That flag looks like it might be in the area of holding, coming from the back judge.
Holding on the offense. 2:15. You know, I've never understood this. People always harp that baseball is a slow game, but no one ever says anything about penalties called in so many penalties being called in football.
Yeah, I think if the amount of penalties is ever up high as some of the games we've seen previously the last couple of years here at Zumwalt North, they can definitely
make for
drag
some long
out
games.
the game.
Yeah.
Nothing quite compares to a 20-plus inning baseball game, though.
No, it doesn't. First and 20.
And Battle looks like they jumped on that one.
Yeah, they did. Looks like it was the wide receiver, number 3. And that'll put them way back into the shadow of their own goal post. It is still first down for Battle, I have to say. First and 22.
You have to wonder if the Spartans commit to the run game or if they maybe try to throw a pass out from their own end zone.
That's pretty risky, the way they pass anyway.
Especially with those quick crossing routes.
They will throw a pass. Dragged down at the 5. Jalen Lee was in on the play.
As well as Spencer Steinmeier.
So now second down and 20 with 1:40 to go in the third quarter. Goolsby has shown some prowess under center, I have to say, but he hasn't had much protection back there, and neither has Chris Reckel.
No, neither team's trying to drop back into pass have had.
Goolsby going deep this time, down the sideline. Incomplete.
For the most part, neither of these teams have had real great protection dropping back into pass. And even when they have had protection, it just seems like the defense has had even better coverage. You've seen Goolsby have a couple overthrows. Same with Reckel as well, though.
And the way they both throw the ball, you can kind of tell if it's going to be completed out of their hand. So Goolsby with the ball on his own 5. Third and 20, 1:16 to go here in the third. Goolsby back to pass. He's going to run it. He throws it, and it's picked off. Braden Miller. And that's a huge play by the Panther defense and a huge momentum swing, possibly right before the fourth quarter.
Braden Miller doing a real good job just jumping that hitch route, taking the ball away. Giving the Panthers real good field position here late in the third quarter.
1:09. I'm sure Coach Bacon wants to kill this minute and then score. Braden Miller had a pretty good game himself, even though we haven't said his name a whole lot. He's the man in motion. Reckel will keep it. He has to go around. He has nowhere to go, and he's pushed out of bounds, a loss of 5.
I believe we have a Battle player down on the Panthers sideline.
And looks like they're going to give him the forward progress to the 25-yard line. Interesting little tidbit here. Former color commentator for Panther Broadcasting, Mike Wagenknecht, is the manager of the O'Fallon Chick-fil-A, and that Chick-fil-A is tasked with feeding the battle team after this game, I heard before the game. And let's just say Mike was having a little levity with me.
I could only imagine those employees having to dish out that big of a meal to a football team at the end of the night.
Late at night? Oh, yeah.
9:30, 10 o'clock rolls around, and you've got an order of 135 chicken sandwiches.
Yeah. And not only do they do it for doing it for this game, they're normally clients of Zumwalt West as well. Fridays during football season, a busy day. 4 wideouts. Lead the man in motion. Reckel, hand off to DJ Jones, has some room. Rumbles forward, down to the 10.
Jones once again with a solid run for the Panthers as we see that clock tick down within 40 seconds.
And another battle player shaken up. And that will stop the clock. Have you ever thought, I mean, you played, have you ever thought this being strategic?
Not necessarily.
You know, going down with cramps strategically?
We've definitely had some times where we've seen other teams, you know, just randomly go down with a ton of cramps and injuries. However, I don't think it's necessarily people faking it or anything.
Yeah.
I don't think they're purposefully trying to stop the clock or anything. You know, cramps are just kind of random, and especially when it's hot and humid like this, they can hit you at any point in time,
yeah,
especially if you don't take care of yourself and, you know, drink plenty of water, you know, leading up to the game.
And also, you got a 90-mile trek on a bus. You know, not every school charters, you know, a charter bus. Sometimes you're on school buses 90 miles all the way home, hot, you know.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. You got to think with some of those school buses, they might have AC, but they don't work very well, and you got to ride that bus for an hour and a half in 90-plus degree weather.
Now, 90 miles, I mean, I could see a school having a budget to charter a bus with that. You know, across town, doesn't really,
much.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter, but as we get set, Lee in motion. Handoff DJ Jones, stays on his feet, spins away and in. Touchdown, Panthers. There we go.
DJ Jones doing a good job there, kind of breaking off some tackles. See him hit a little spin move off of one of his blockers down by the goal line. He's got his second of the night.
Or is it 1.5?
We could give it 1.5.
1.5? Yeah.
Still got to give credit to Logan Knapp for recovering that one in the end zone.
27-14. 22 seconds to play. Connor O'Neill to hold. Snap back, ball down, kick up, and down Broadway. 28-14. 22.8 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Zumwalt North gets the turnover and gets on the board. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back on Prepcast.com.
Bus Lines has been serving the St. Louis metropolitan area since 1932, and they take pride in their well-maintained fleet of clean, comfortable European-style motor coaches and vans. Whether you're interested in a tour of the beautiful and historic St. Louis area or a charter trip to the lower 48 continental United States or parts of Canada, it's Vandalia Bus Lines, the largest fleet in the St. Louis area. Call them at 800-542-4287.
Welcome back, everybody, to Panther Broadcasting, powered by Prepcast. Year number 3 for us here. My name's Tom Hartbeck, alongside Adam Lewis. 28-14, the Panthers on top of the Battle Spartans. And even though, I mean, this year is a year of question marks. That's what a lot of people were saying about the Panthers because they graduated 26 seniors. last year. The past 2 years were years we maybe thought they had the pieces to go all the way to Columbia and win it. They've ran into stiff competition in the playoffs. But man, oh man, have they impressed today, given the circumstances. 28-14 with change left here in the third quarter. Kick deep and into the end zone for a touchback. Good job, Davis Hurst.
Very good kick. At the high school level, if you're ever able to put a ball into the end zone, not even give the other team a chance to return it, that's very good.
Best kicker I ever saw was Caleb Meinzer from CBC. Ended up going to Indiana, D1, kicked all 4 years, and was their ended up being their field goal kicker. Taking the extra points. I don't think a team ever returned any balls. It was something to behold. But Davis Herbst, a very good kicker. His season long last year was 37 yards. He didn't really have that many opportunities, though, to kick a three-pointer. Goolsby hands it off. Smallwood, and he is lit up by P.J. Henderson.
Steinmeier being the first one to wrap him up in the backfield. Real good job just seeing that pulling guard take off down the line, and he follows right behind him, takes him right to the running back in the backfield.
And this should end the third quarter. So after 3, it is the Panthers 28 and the Spartans 14. Rivalry week and 2021 off to a hot start. Panthers on top. Quarter number 4 when we come back on Prepcast.com. What was the score?
4-3.
Oh, wow. Welcome back, everybody. 28-14, start of quarter number 4. Second down and 14 for Battle from their own 16-yard line is where we will start. Been a good one, relatively close. Last year the games were track meets. 60-43 win for Battle in week 1 last year. And in the playoffs, they ended up winning relatively close. But it went back and forth. North won by 2 touchdowns. Goolsby, back to pass, throws one into the flat, incomplete, off the hands that time of Caden Salin.
Once again, Goolsby just throwing that ball a little too high for his receiver. We once again see the Spartans trying to set up that screen pass to the outside.
I mean, it looks to me like Goolsby is a decent passer, but he's kind of I don't mean to use a comparison here, but he's kind of a Jack Newcomb passer where you got to make sure your man is open. You know, Jack, when he did throw the ball, was money, especially to Tyler Oakes, but especially in these screen passes, they're tough to execute. Another screen. This one's underneath, and it will be short, about a 4th and 6.
And another thing that kind of becomes tricky with how a lot of these offenses are ran today is a lot of these quick passing plays, these screen plays, these quick slants you see over the middle, they're more about timing plays than anything. And so sometimes, depending on the defense you're going up against, or even it could just be like being a little sluggish because it's week 1, you get that timing off and it could disrupt your whole game.
Braden Miller will be back deep. He'll stand at the 40. Battle will punt with 11:10 to go. The clock is running. Punt is away. It is deep. It is bouncing. And it'll be downed at the 30, make it 28-yard line with 10:51 to go in the game. That's about where Coach Bacon wants it. Not bad field position, and he can take a lot of time off.
That's exactly what they're going to try and do here. Got that 2-possession lead. Obviously, the end goal every offensive drive is to put points on the board, but as we've said, the more time you take off, the better.
1st and 10. They give him the ball at the 30-yard line. With 10:51 to play. Chris Reckel comes to the huddle. Peyton Hoker into the game. Will be the wide out to the near side. Then Braden Miller. Then Jalen Lee. Then Zach McGee on the far side of the field. DJ Jones will be the running back in the shotgun. Reckel. Miller the man in motion. Reckel keeps it, then options it out to Miller, who gets a gain of 5.
We have another Spartan down right around the 25-yard line.
They give him 4. A 2nd and 6. There's another Spartan down with a cramp. I mean, has anyone ever heard of water?
No, it's unbelievable to me how often you see these crampings take place in athletics at any sort of level.
I mean, just when you have so many of them, I mean, you never see this. $10:44 to play. 2nd down and 6 from the 34-yard lines where we're at. 28-14, Panthers with the lead. And next week you have Howell. Now they're a different animal altogether, as the injured Battle Spartan was number 46, Michael Havram, linebacker and tight end. But Howell is a different animal altogether because of their size.
Yeah, Howell always is way oversized, especially compared to the Panthers, but just compared to most teams in St. Charles County in general.
Yeah, and Howell probably, here's my assumption, Howell is probably going to win a state title, but they always run into having to go across to the other side of the state, as that play was blown up from DJ Jones. But again, they have to go and play the Rock Bridges. They have to go and play the Blue Springs Souths and the Rockhursts. You know, so when you're that tested against teams in the playoffs, you know, is it like playing, do you feel a difference when you play a Class 5 team versus Howell, who you play all the time?
Not necessarily. I would say the difference between like a Class 5 or a Class 6 team. We've even had games in the past where we would bump down and play a Class 4 team. It really just all depends on the skill level that each team brings. The class size really has nothing to do with it.
Well, no, but like, you know, Howell being so big and always being, they're always battle tested. You know, but luckily you're playing them early in the year. So it's going to be interesting how this year is staying put.
Francis Howell will be a really fun team to kind of watch throughout this season, especially leading into the Panthers game against them next week, because they also have a couple students transferring over from Edwardsville, Illinois, who has a very strong football program for the last 10 years or so.
You ever seen that stadium?
I have seen their stadium before.
Oh, yeah.
It's very nice.
That is nice. 3rd down and 9 from the 31-yard line when we break out of this water break. 9:56 to go in the game. 2-touchdown lead for the Panthers, 28-14.
Edwardsville High School also has A.J. Espinoza, a second-round draft pick of the 2020 NFL Draft, playing for the Bills.
He plays for the Bills. You know, he's cold. They need a new stadium in the worst way.
Oh, yeah, they do.
I hope they don't relocate. 4 wideouts. Man in motion to the near side. Reckel back to pass, looking, throwing it deep, wide open, incomplete, flag coming in. Zach McGee stood tall and took the hit, that time from Malachi Cobbins.
McGee going up for the jump ball. Cobbins, as you said, just getting a little too physical on the play, trying to throw a hit before the ball's there.
And we have 2 penalties on the play. One looked to be roughing the passer, and one was obviously PI.
And I did see pressure around Chris Reckel as he was getting rid of that ball. However, I didn't see the follow-through of the play in the pocket.
2 fouls, personal foul, roughing the passer, and then pass interference. So that's a free play, and I've seen that's 2 or 3 plays now, even when he hasn't completed a pass, and he doesn't have that many yards passing. He can stand in the pocket and make a throw at least, which almost is the minimum requirement to be a quarterback for Zumwalt North.
And he shows some great toughness, just as many other QBs along the years have, just really being able to stand in there and take hits to try and deliver good passes for their teammates.
9:51, 1st and 10 now from the 46-yard line. 4 wideouts, and we come set. Man in motion's Waddington. He gets the handoff around the outside. 1st down and more. But he steps out of bounds around the 35-yard line, I would think.
Miles Weddington, one of the smallest, however, one of the fastest players on the Zumwalt North team. You can really see it whenever he's able to hit a lane or get the ball on the straightaway down the sideline. His speed really is incredible. It'll be hard for most people to catch him.
9:44 to play in the game. 1st down and 10 for the Panthers at the 41-yard line. 28-14 the score. 4 wideouts for Reckel. 3 to the near side. Lee's the slot man. Hand off to DJ Jones. He's lit. And I saw it. The referee didn't. It looked like to me Christian Spilker just got stomped.
I didn't quite see that right there.
Well, or something happened over top of him, and if a referee would have saw that, oof. Second down and 13, ticking down under 9 minutes to go. Panthers into Spartan territory. They show blitz. Man in motion, far side. That was Lee. And now it's a long pass play caught and into the end zone. Chris Reckel to Miles Weddington, and flags come in late.
And those flags were thrown way after Weddington had made his way into the end zone. Wonder if we're going to have a couple more unsportsmanlike conduct penalties breaking out here.
So the PAT probably will be nullified unless Coach Bacon has some faith in Davis Herbst, and it is officially a touchdown. Unsportsmanlike against Battle.
So that's their second unsportsmanlike conduct penalty this game.
So they'll take the penalty on the kickoff. Miles Weddington with a 44-yard touchdown reception from Chris Reckel. That's his second passing touchdown today. (34-14), 8:54 to play in the game. Herbst to kick. Snap back, ball down, kick is up and through the uprights. 35-14, 8:54 to play in the game. We'll take a quick break, and we will be right back on prepcast.com.
Bus Lines has been serving the St. Louis metropolitan area since 1932, and they take pride in their well-maintained fleet of clean, comfortable European-style motor coaches and vans. Whether you're interested in a tour of the beautiful and historic St. Louis area or a charter trip to the lower 48 continental United States or parts of Canada, it's Vandalia Bus Lines, the largest fleet in the St. Louis area. Call them at 800-542-4287.
Welcome back, everybody, to Panther Broadcasting, powered by Prepcast. Once again, my name's Tom Hartbeck, and I'm alongside Adam Lewis. 35-14 is the score, and that may be the straw that broke the camel's back.
One could say that with just a little under 9 minutes left to play here.
I mean, the way Zumwalt North will play, they will drain clock as much as they can. Gateway Sports Venue did pick Zumwalt to win this game over battle. Always appreciate the work they do over there. Wow, 40-38, East St. Louis and CBC. East St. Louis on top in the third quarter, at the end of the third. It's a shootout over off of Mason Road, and it's been a good one here. Caught at the 25 with some blockers. Over to the far side, that's 3. He gets them, hooks around the corner, across the 50, down to the 45, and then pushed. Nice return there for Battle to maybe give them some life, but they need to score quickly.
They definitely need to look to score quickly here, or at least to put points on the board and then get a quick turnover, because knowing how the Panthers run that offense, if they're not able to force a turnover or a quick 3 and out, they might not have a chance to get the ball back and try to score again.
35-14, 8:42 to play. Face mask against the Panthers.
Ricky Dunn back in for this battle offense.
So it'll go all the way down to the 27-yard line. 35-14, 8:42 to play. And it's a short field for Battle. So the defense has a little bit of work to do yet. Goolsby handoff to Ricky Dunn. He breaks through and falls forward. But again, time ticks away. Both teams have 2 timeouts, and it's an official timeout and a player down, and it is a Panther in some discomfort. Coming into the game is Jaden Stevens. And another cramp. I've never felt a cramp like that. I mean, I did play high school sports, but I've seen the way some of these kids react to them. I mean, what does it feel like?
Well, personally, I've never had a cramp during a game that's caused me to go down or have to be pulled out for a play. I have, however, just woken up randomly in the middle of the night to
after a game
to a cramp that would put me in screaming pain.
Really?
Yeah, 'cause sometimes those muscles lock up and there's nothing you can do about it, and you're just going to sit there in pain for 20, 30 seconds.
Invest in a really good thumper, like one of those percussion massagers, you know. But I know all about muscles cramping up, believe me. 8:31 to play. Second down and 5. Ball on the 22 as the cramping Panther was number 60. And that was Nathan Lund.
Nathan Lund, the big 6'7" lineman for the Panthers.
He's getting some playing time.
First year with the team, he's gotten a decent amount of time in at nose tackle.
Stretch, massage, water, pickle juice if you can stomach it. Ugh.
Maybe just some mustard on the sidelines.
Mustard? Ugh. And there goes Dunn to the 10, to the 5, rumbling forward and breaking the plane for the touchdown.
Dunn once again with just a real explosive run right up the middle. Bouncing off tacklers left and right, really forcing his way into the end zone.
35-20. Looks like Battle will attempt to go for 2 here.
Spartans lining up with their pretty normal one tight end set here.
And they will keep it. And he's in, but there's a flag. Face mask on the offense.
Not too many times you see a face masking get called on the offensive team.
No, so I don't think they get to rerun that. No, that goes back to the 18, and then they rerun.
I personally wasn't too sure on the rule book there.
Yeah, that's a crazy one because he did make it into the end zone. But the play was blown dead with the foul. So that goes all the way back to the 8. They will attempt again. 35-20, 8:19 to go. Goolsby back to pass. Pump fake. Broken up. Connor O'Neill got his hand to it.
Good job bringing his hand over to break up the pass to Trey Richardson.
And that will really put a kibosh on Battle's comeback, I think.
Spartans now down 15 points, still down a touchdown as well as another touchdown, including a 2-point conversion. With only 8 minutes and 19 seconds left on the clock here.
Just got to protect the ball.
Very simple for the Panthers, like you said, just be able to take care of the ball. We've seen the ball get fumbled tonight quite a few times by both teams. Some going in favor for the opponent. Sometimes they were able to recover their own fumbles. We'll see if the Panthers are able to tighten up on that.
Now this I would really, really put your hands team on. Because Battle, I think, would be remiss if they didn't go to try and recover this.
And it looks like the Panthers are walking out some of their members of the hands team unit. Everybody creeps up a little bit.
Mark Futrell. Looks like Miller. In the middle is DJ Jones. Far side is Hoker. And I think McGee. No, excuse me. It is Brew to the far side. Nope, they will just squib kick it. $35-20, still 8:19. Offside against the Panthers.
Now they will move that kickoff up, just 5 yards.
And Francis Howell North has beaten Oakville 34-29. Again, pooch kick. Caught. Far side, that's Weddington. Weddington gets around, has some room, flag, and dragged down around the 35. And this looks like a block in the back. And if my math is right, down to the 22. No, it's holding. Excuse me.
Once again, the Panthers just continuing to take all of their momentum and just kind of shut it down just by taking penalties on their own end.
Yeah, but it's still 1st and 10. You're just on the 20. You got more green in front of you to drain clock.
Definitely more yardage to work with. It's just
yeah.
Over the course of a season, you see these times where they start to break these big plays and then they just get a couple false starts or a holding call, and it just kind of sets everything back.
So ball on the 17, 4 wideouts. Man in motion to the near side. Keeper by Reckel. He has some room. And he gets stopped by his own man, then gets around, and then is dragged down at the 35. That's a gain of 18. Clock will stop. First down, Green.
Clock continues to tick for the Panthers as the chains have been reset.
7:50 and counting. 1st and 10 from the 35. Zumwalt North trying to put a cap on this one. Reckel has DJ Jones in the backfield. Jalen Lee, the man in motion. Hand off to Jones. Little scat counter play. He spins away and gets the first down.
Another good run by Jones, this time taking it off tackle and able to hit a cutback lane towards the middle, get that first down, and now they're able to sub him out, let O'Neal come in for a little bit.
So that's a Panther first down. And O'Neal checks in. So why do they call it hammerback?
The reason they call it a hammerback is because that running back is mainly used as a lead blocker than an actual ball carrier.
Well, that was pretty elementary. As O'Neal will get a carry here, get back to the original line, and then be brought down.
At least traditionally in the triple option offense, that's how it was worked. Obviously, with Futrell stepping in and now DJ Jones, it seems like they're using it more of as a weapon than just as like a fullback.
2nd down and 10. 6:40 to play. Ball on the 46. Now DJ Jones back in at running back. Still 4 wideouts. Everybody set. Let the clock drain. 1 second. They got it off. Hand off. That's Jones. He breaks free. Oh, and he's tripped up by his belt.
And it looks like he's going to be just short of the first down.
By a yard.
But in the last 3 plays here, we've seen that clock tick down from a little over 8 minutes to now into the 5-minute range. You see this 4th quarter here when the Panthers are able to take control of this game and run the ball like they want to, they can really kill that clock fast.
Oh, yes. They don't mind just slowing it down. 2 tight ends set. 2 wide receivers. It's Weddington and McGee. Reckel does a little bit of a dance and then just dives into the line. That'll move the chains.
Clock stops momentarily.
That's close. First down. First and 10, Zumwalt North from the 44-yard line. 5:10 to go in the game. Panthers trying to put it away. McGee, Lee, Weddington, and then Hoker. Battle trying to get North to jump. They don't.
It looks like Battle might have jumped on that one.
And they'll call timeout, Zumwalt North. 4:57 to go in the game. First and 10 on the 44 when we come back. We'll be right back on PrepCast.
To get that extra 10%. Reach the next level with Athletic Republic. Athletic Republic is science-based performance sports training, delivering intense, position-specific one-on-one training. Stop working out and start training. Visit your local Athletic Republic training center today. Athletic Republic, where athletes who give 110% get the extra 10%.
Welcome back, everybody, to Panther Broadcasting, powered by PrepCast. 35-20 is the score. Zumwalt North with the ball and in command. 4:57 to play here in the fourth quarter. They've got the ball on the 44-yard line coming out of a timeout. And Coach Braken right now doing his best Jim Harbaugh impression with the khaki pants. Or is it John Harbaugh who did the? Oh, they both do it.
I believe they both do it.
Yeah, they
correct.
both do it.
However, every coach on the Zumwalt North coaching staff is wearing khaki pants or
That's
shorts
true.
at least.
Yeah, that's true. 4:57. First and 10 from the 44. 4 wideouts. Reckel. Bad snap. And he gets back to it. To me, that's a late hit.
No flag on the play. Now really puts Panthers in a huge hole here. 2nd and 26.
That it does, but the clock is still running. Clock is your friend at this point. Always feels like these games against Battle just are tense, even when it's not all that close. 4 wideouts again. Reckel gonna keep it himself. Got through and then falls.
It looked like the ball may have slipped out, but it was hard to tell if he was already down due to contact or not.
He lost it, but Panthers keep possession, and that is what is important.
Now here in a 3rd and long situation, Panthers looking to try and kill as much clock as possible.
You have no reason to really pass.
Here comes a reverse to Weddington.
To the far side, cuts to the inside, across the 50, to the 40, down to the 30, down the sideline, 20, 15, 10, 5, and to the house. And a flag on the play, way to the back.
Right there we see the speed of Weddington as he hits that sideline on the reverse, and As you can see, he took it to pay dirt there.
Second time it's happened.
Wow, that speed on the edge, though, is something that every team on Zumwalt North's schedule is going to have to watch out for.
Yeah, Miles Weddington being used as a weapon, kind of in the back pocket of this offense.
Almost looked like he was shot out of a cannon there when he hit that sideline.
Wouldn't doubt if he runs some track.
I believe he does.
Speaking of which, where do they run track here? Because it's one of the few schools that doesn't have a running track around its football field.
The track would be just on the other side of the school, over by the baseball fields. And it does surround an old grass field that the soccer team uses.
Oh, that's interesting. Got a little more room here at Zumwalt North than at most schools.
I'm personally a fan of the stadium without the track
So
around
am I.
it, though.
So am I. Here's Reckel. Pressure. Just throws it away.
Reckel is slow to get up.
Yeah, he took a good hit. But he is up. 4th down and 32 from the 34 with 3:19 to play.
They're going to bring Reckel out, bring in Carter Madare here.
You have to punt here, but let's see. Madare to punt.
Madare has worked with the kickings team for Zumwalt North.
And he gets a punt off at the 40. So another short field for Battle. But with 3:12 to play, you'd have to score, give the ball back, or maybe get an onside kick. It would be a miracle if Battle were to come back in this one.
Yeah, time is just not quite on their favor. They're going to have to look to get some points very quickly here.
Yeah, you make one big stop because you do have 2 timeouts. Zumwalt North has 1. 3:12 to play. Battle with a last glimmer of hope on this drive. 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line with 3:12. 35-20. Panthers with the lead.
And for Goolsby here, you got to be thinking you cannot
delay a game already.
For Goolsby here, you got to be thinking even though you need points fast, you cannot force a ball deep downfield to a covered man, because if you throw a ball up into a one-on-one situation and it gets picked off, that pretty much seals the game.
Father Tolton out of Columbia wins 35-20. Goolsby throws one downfield, caught and then kept in bounds by, I believe, Connor O'Neill. That's a gain of 9. Second down and 6. Four wideouts. Hurry up offense here for Battle. Goolsby rolling to the near side with some time. Throws it deep. And somehow it's caught. And in for the score.
And talk about that quick strike offense that the Spartans were looking for. O'Neill seemed like he was just a little late getting over to his assignment. Just ended up tripping over himself and Jeremiah Dickerson.
You need a 2-point conversion to have a chance. They have not kicked a field goal yet. You need this 2 points to have a chance. If you don't recover, then you're up against Zumwalt North. And he is in. So there's your 2-point conversion. The difference is 7. 35-28. Zumwalt North trying to hang on, and we'll stay here. Adam, you're up by a touchdown with 2:52 to play in this game. Obviously, you don't need to throw the ball.
Obviously not.
But you don't even need to score, technically. You need to just run it out. But also, you've kind of given Battle 2 short fields.
They have definitely given Battle a couple short fields and I would say easy opportunities to put points on the board. Now what your main goal has to be with just 2:52 left in the game is not only getting a couple first downs, but forcing Battle to use their timeouts.
Yeah, they have 2 timeouts remaining. Zumwalt North has 1, and I'm sure Coach Bacon ain't going to use that one on this drive. But Battles most certainly would have to do an onside kick here. If you don't go for an onside kick, you're shooting yourself in the foot, so to speak.
Unless they have that much faith in their defense to come up and make a stop with 2 timeouts left.
And the Fox 2 helicopter hovering above head. Up at the front line, Brew. Then you got Carter Madere, excuse me. In the middle is O'Neal. Here we go. They will pooch it. It's caught and then fall down.
And there's a flag.
That's offside on Battle. Offside on the kicking team. I would decline this penalty. You recovered it. Don't let them kick it again. So we'll do it again. Dead ball. So now we'll just do it again. 2:52, 1st and 10. For which team? Zumwalt North on top by 7. And now they kick it deep. And it is into the end zone for a touchback. Smart play by Jalen Lee. North will take over from the 20 with just under 3 minutes. Kill the clock.
That's going to be their main focus here. Just keep the ball on the ground and in bounds.
Battle does have an opportunity probably to stop it and then save one of their timeouts for the offense, but we shall see.
You would have to think if the Panthers are able to get 2 first downs here, assuming they're not on back-to-back plays, that might be just enough to seal this game out.
4 wideouts for Chris Reckel. He's got DJ Jones in his backfield. Jalen Lee, the man in motion. Reckel to keep it. Hits the hole. And gets 1.
And a really good play by Ricky Dunn, the linebacker. He stepped up in the gap, met DJ Jones there, was able to fight off the block and tackle Reckel right at the line.
.230 to play.
Spartans looking to hold on to their timeouts for now.
4 wideouts once again. Zach McGee on the far side. So is Jalen Lee. They show blitz. Reverse play. That's Miller. He got through. And he gets a gain of about 4 or 5.
There is a flag on the far side of the field, right around the 20-yard marker, near the Battle sideline. .201 to play. also see Miles Weddington step back into the game for Braden Miller.
Third and 6 from the 24. Now under 2 minutes. Let that clock tick, Chris. Let it tick. And this is Raquel. Around the outside. He got through.
And it looks like he might have gotten it.
I think he did. And he'll get a nice spot. He stretched his arm out, does get out of bounds and stops the clock, but it's a first down, and that helps.
Spartans still were able to hold on to all their timeouts. So they still have a chance to kill this clock a couple times and potentially get the ball back.
Four wideouts bunched to the near side. They show blitz. Weddington gets the handoff. Has some room. Just short.
He's going to be real close, within a yard of that first down marker.
Not sure if Coach Bacon cares if he made it or not. And that will force, I think that'll force Battle to take their timeout.
This clock continues to tick down. Coach Bacon knows that they are probably just this one first down away from really putting this game away.
The air is close out here tonight. 35-28, 1:21 to play, second down and 1, ball on the 40-yard line.
And we talked about how Zumwalt North was typically more of a second half team last year. It really seems like Battle was more of the second half team.
I agree.
This season. Panthers came out to a real strong start, and the Spartans were slowly clawing away at that lead.
Four wideouts once again. No, make it 3 with the tight end. Reckel comes set. Man in motion's Lee. Lee gets the handoff, end around, and then he's stopped behind the line. Excuse me, Braden Miller. Loss of 3.
Weddington right there just failing to hold his block on number 16, Jalen Brodus.
So that is Battle's final timeout with 1:13. You need a first down here to ice it. Two very big plays.
The Panthers are able to get a first down here. They'll pretty much set themselves up for the victory formation.
Third down and 4. Ball on the 37 with 1:13 to go. 35-28, North with the lead. Lee the man in motion.
Battle showing pressure.
And then Chris Reckel tells Jalen Lee stay put. Battle does show blitz. Now Lee moves, and it's a bad snap. Picked up. No, not picked up. And now Battle's going to take it into the end zone, high-stepping it for the touchdown.
Yes,
Ricky Dunn.
that was Ricky Dunn picking up that loose ball and high-stepping his way into the end zone. But do the Spartans go for two here? We haven't seen them try to kick a PAT all game long.
No, we have not. Biggest play of the game. Do you go for the tie or do you go for the possible win?
I have a feeling knowing, well, it's kind of hard to tell with it being a new coaching staff for Battle, but Battle in previous years would probably go for it here. And it
Here we
looks
go.
like they will.
1 minute and 3 seconds to go.
And you have to know this ball is going to Ricky Dunn.
Oh, yes, you do. Timeout, Zumwalt North. That's their last. You were winning this game, mind you, 21-0.
21-0, and as we said, Battle came out in the second half, and they just slowly and surely scratched away at that lead. And we talked about it, just those mistakes, those costly mistakes, those fumbles, those bad snaps, those penalties, they all come back at the end of the game, and they prove it on the scoreboard.
Well, don't say anything yet. 35-34. North with the lead. This for the lead, though, for Battle. There's a minute left on the clock.
Both teams are completely out of timeouts.
Here we go.
Well.
Big set. Ricky Dunn. He spins away and is in. He was almost stopped.
Yeah, as a group of Panthers had him in the backfield, they just aren't able to wrap him up. He's able to bounce off so many tacklers as he's been able to do all night and push his way into the end zone.
It ain't over yet. You got a minute.
Well, and another thing, crazy to see all the plays that Ricky Dunn has made tonight, and to think that at the beginning of the third quarter, he was barely in on this offense.
He wasn't even involved. And when he's been in, they cannot stop him. So why was he even out?
Who knows? It could have been an injury of some sorts.
Hmm. 35 points for the Panthers tonight. Still not enough. They've not played a terrible game offensively, but this second half, you gotta wonder about the defense and what happened after such a good first half. Here we go. You'll have just under a minute. Kicked deep and into the end zone. So 80 yards to pay dirt and a win in week one. We shall see.
Panthers also have Davis Herbst, who is capable of hitting a field goal, I would say roughly between 35 to 40 yards.
Here we go. No team has any timeouts. 1 minute left on the clock. Here we go. Battle will come out in a prevent defense. And now they will pinch. Reckel, back to pass, looking, throwing, broken up.
And that one was almost picked off. Jalen Lee was underthrown there. You also notice here how Battle has been moving Ricky Dunn around at the linebacker spot to try and get him sending pressure at Reckel from different angles. Weddington also checks back into the game for Braden Miller.
Dickerson, Weddington, Lee, and McGee. Reckel back to pass. Looking, gets one off, has a man open, but it was overthrown. This has been one for the books. But you got 54 seconds left. And 2 more cracks. To get a first down, any score wins it.
Panthers going trips to the near side here.
As expected. Back to pass. Reckel. Flushed. Rolling. Looking. Under pressure. Throws it. Incomplete. Flag. Oh, no, excuse me. That was a cheerleader's pom-pom.
Don't worry. I saw the same thing, and I was thinking the exact same thing, too.
Yep. 4th and 10. One last shot here for the Panthers. And this will be a gut check game if you are on Coach Bacon's team. A game you, by all intents and purposes, should have won.
Easily should have won, just by the way of what the score was saying, right? 21-0, 21-3 for a majority of the game.
We'll read our words. Let's see. 42 seconds left. 4th down and 10. Reckel back to pass. He's flushed. Gets one out to DJ Jones. And the pass was complete, but he was short.
And the Spartans will take over.
So that is it. And Battle will come in to Zumwalt North and come back from 28 points down to win. The only thing you can say is it is week 1.
That's the only thing you can say. Panthers came out real strong, but just the sloppiness and the mistakes is what was able to cost them.
And you came out and you played well enough to win the game. And we're thinking with 2 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, you've got a pretty solid shot to win. You get to 3rd and you get to 4 yards away, you get a first down, you win the game, but then even the called back touchdown of Weddington.
Even then, it's just the little things like that. A little holding call here and there could end up costing you the entire football game.
So a sour taste in your mouth if you're a Zumwalt North fan here to start week 1. But you're headed to Howell next week. And you're going to try and turn the page. But it is obvious that this team, Adam, does have tools. They do have weapons. Do they have the line and do they have the discipline to back it up?
Well, I definitely think they have the discipline to back it up. They might not have shown it yet tonight, but knowing that coaching staff, I think give it a couple weeks and the Panthers will come out looking like a brand new team.
And, I mean, let's kind of take this back. You know, you're at the start of the 4th quarter. You've got a 3-touchdown lead. I mean, penalties do hurt you. You have a couple of bad breaks. You gave Battle the ball at the 27-yard line on their first possession. So that really hurt you, but is it the execution? What happened tonight?
I feel like it's really just sloppiness. You're right, just lack of execution on the field. And key moments is mainly what it is. Because overall, I mean, the Panthers did fairly well, putting up 35 points on the board. Their offense seemed to be clicking pretty good. But it was just the key moments where they needed it the most, like on that 3rd and short with 2 minutes left, where a bad snap goes over the quarterback's head, and that costs you the game.
And that's what it came down to. Final score, Spartans 36, Panthers 35. They fall to their cross-state rivals by a point after leading. So they will head to Howell next week, and you've got another test, so you got to reload. And these first 2 games, I thought were going to be the measuring cup of the season, because after that, you pretty much know who you're playing and you know how they've been the past few years. And honestly, you're thinking start checking boxes pretty quick.
Exactly.
This battle game, in all hindsight, does not mean much.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's not a conference game, not a district game, so it doesn't affect the first couple rounds of playoffs necessarily. But you're right, adding teams like Francis Howell and Battle being the first couple weeks of the season, the last couple years for the Panthers, they really have been, a way to test the team early, knowing that they have a weaker conference schedule coming up later on in the season.
Yeah, and the biggest thing in your district probably will be Chaminade, who will be battle-tested come playoff time. And that battle team is a lot like Chaminade, I would have to say. So, final score, 36-35. The Panthers fall here in Week 1. It is Francis Howell next week. For my partner, Adam Lewis, our producer, Gavin Anderson, and Parker on camera, my name's Tom Hartbeck. We'll see you next week on Panther Broadcasting, powered by Prepcast.